Mira knew they all meant well, but with cancer, there are things you don't want to discuss with people you love. So she searched Macmillan online community. 80,000 strangers. Every one of them with experience of cancer. Okay, she didn't know them, but they all knew what she was going through. For a safe, anonymous, online forum, 24 hours a day. Search Macmillan online community.
Are you one of the 1.5 million UK customers that have used MedExpress for your healthcare journey? If not, accessing treatments for sexual health is now easier than ever. You don't need to visit your GP or pharmacy. Just complete a short online consultation to find the right treatment for you. We'll send your treatment directly to your door, delivered to you in discreet packaging with ongoing support from our experienced UK-based medical team. Take the first step towards managing your health concerns with confidence. Visit medexpress.co.uk to learn more.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, "Want to bet?" I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. BetFred. 18+. GambleAware.org.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits All Media is an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard as we return to domestic football after the best international break ever. Yes, the country's still on a high after the men's team secured qualification to a first World Cup since 1998. However, it's back to the bread and butter. Rangers, Livy, Killie, Motherwell, Hibs, Dundee and Dundee United, Falkirk this afternoon before, after AGM chaos yesterday, Celtic head to Paisley later on this evening. I'm Gordon Duncan, and joining me today you have Gordon Dalziel, Cammy Bell and Hugh Keevins.
No Scotland, no party, no Celtic, no Rammy. What a week it has been, from national euphoria to civil war in the space of 3 days. But today we have to get back to the practicalities. If Rangers beat Livy at Ibrox, they move to within 2 points of Celtic, a club, incidentally, still without a manager. Martin O'Neill takes the team to Paisley tonight, and who knows what awaits them there after yesterday's chaotic AGM. Then again, Daz, this is Planet Scotland.
Yeah, brilliant opening to the show. I've got to say, great week, Gordon, from Tuesday. We're all still in the high. Looking forward to the football, not just in the Premiership, a massive game in the Championship at Firhill. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, massive day in the Premiership, and again you look at that game that Rangers can get closer to Celtic, and then obviously Celtic travel to Paisley later on, so it's an interesting day ahead of us.
It is indeed. Strap yourselves in. We're here until 6 o'clock. I am sure we'll get some sort of drama and controversy throughout the afternoon, because we always do. Plenty to look back on from a big day in Scottish football yesterday. But we can't be done yet, surely. Surely this is one final chance before we get caught up with moaning about referees and worrying about league tables. Surely a bit of this afternoon can be dedicated to one final look back on the best international break ever.
Yeah, listen, it was an incredible night on Tuesday night. It was just, again, I was there with my boy, and it was just such a special moment personally for me. I know you guys were there working, but listen, what an absolute night for the whole nation. It was just fantastic. And again, everyone's still got that feel-good factor about them at the moment, and hopefully that'll live on for the next sort of 6 months until the World Cup starts.
I want you to stop talking about it.
No, come on, Hugh.
Listen, my wife, who last went to a football match with me in the 1970s, is talking about going to America.
Yes.
And she's talking about taking the grandkids. And I've got 6 of them.
Oh, I know who's paying.
You better get a Sunday shift.
I was going to say a few extra shifts.
But Hugh, I like your take on it because you're the ultimate authority. You've seen it all. And even for you, because it's easy for you old guys to sometimes say, things were better in my day.
Yep.
But you think that tops the lot.
Yeah, completely. From the minute McTominay scored, I said right away on the programme, best Scotland goal I have ever seen. And at 2-2, when Scott Allen was bouncing up and down like Zebedee beside me, I said to him, this game's gone bonkers. It's taken on a life of its own. Anything could happen. But even I was not prepared for Tierney and McLean. It's sensational. Best game ever. Best goal ever. Best night ever. Thank you and goodbye.
And look, this is the most negative guy in the country saying this. That tells you just how good it was. And I'm sure we will. Look, we will look back on it. We tend to reflect on the week's biggest stories on a Saturday. I'm pretty certain that will make the cut. But for now, let's bring you team news just because it's breaking. Don't want to hang around and leave you too long. So let's go to Rangers Livingston, and Andrew McLean is there.
Yeah, whilst we all enjoyed the international break, and Danny Rowe was saying he loved seeing his Scottish staff celebrate on Tuesday night and that they were dancing on the tables, it was actually a bit of a thud back down to earth for Rowe after he was left counting the cost of it with several injuries now to contend with. John Souttar and Mikey Moore set to miss the rest of the calendar year. Derek Cornelius could be even longer than that. Yusuf Chermiti also misses out on today's match as well. It's forced Rule into making some changes as they look to get their 4th league win in a row, and you'd imagine Rangers fans could be feeling a bit more optimistic about the league table. As Hugh mentioned, a win today and Rangers move within just 2 points of Celtic, who play a St Mirren team in Paisley tonight. Rule saying in his pre-match press conference that it's important they just keep on making those small steps, and he seems more concerned, I think, at the moment with just making sure that they get wins on the board instead of radically trying to change things or fully implement his philosophies at the early stage of his tenure. He just wants points on the board, and he wants that to continue today. They're coming up against a Livingston side who haven't been winning at all. Their last win in the league came in their 2nd match of the Premiership season. They're now 10 without a win and bottom of the table. So Danny Rowe's made 4 changes for this one today, most of those enforced. Souttar, Cornelius, Moore and Miovski drop out. In come Giga, Fernandes, Asgard and Antman. Looks like a change of shape as well. Back to a back 4. Jack Butland in goal. The back 4 is James Tavernier, Nasser Giga, Emmanuel Fernandes and Jayden Magoma. A midfield 3 of Mohamed Diamandi, Nico Raskin and Tello Asgard, with Oliver Antman and Jade Gassama either side of Danilo. The substitutes: Kelly, Aarons, Enciala, Barron, Rothwell, Curtis, Cameron, Bayrami and Miovski. As for the visitors, David Martindale has selected Jerome Prier in goal once again. I think it's going to be a back 5 of Samson Lawal, Daniel Finlayson, Danny Wilson, Mo Silla and Christian Montano. It will then be a midfield 3 of Macaulay Tate, Mahamadou Sissoko and Scott Pittman, with Teddy Yenge and Stevie May leading the line. The substitutes: Hamilton, McGowan, Muirhead, Carey, Smith, Winter, Bukila, Robinson and Shinnie. The referee here at Ibrox is Ross Hardy and the VAR is John Beaton.
Gordon Dale, it feels like, although the break interrupted it, Rangers were on a mini league revival. They've got a couple of wins, 3 wins back to back, and how can we say this without upsetting our good pal Marvin Bartley? If you're serious about a revival, if you're serious about climbing the table, you have to get back to showing that days like Saturday 3pm home to Livingston are ones that you just come through without any fuss.
Yeah, you couldn't have picked a better game after international break, Gordon.
I said don't upset Marvin Bartley.
Yeah, but listen, he's not listening. I know that he'll be probably in here on Tuesday licking his wounds. I fancy Rangers strongly. I know they've made 4 changes. Obviously disappointed with Souttar and missing the Scotland game the other night. Big player for them, but at home to the bottom of the table team, they should have well enough in the tank.
You know the way this city works. Celtic are in chaos. Arami at the AGM of all things. The Celtic fans in uproar, but the Rangers fans are thinking, hold on, we could take advantage of this. Move to within 2 points. Celtic at Paisley tonight, very, very tough assignment for them. I hope there's a good purvey in the away dressing room at Ibrox, because that's all Livingston will get out of the game today.
Yeah, again, it's a perfect fixture for me. Livingston, we all know they've struggled this season. Yes, they can be a difficult opponent, but I think Rangers should take care of business today. It's at home, it's at Ibrox. The big disappointment for Rangers is that news that Souttar And Mikey Moore, who looked as if he was just coming onto a game, looked as if he was finding real confidence under the new manager, is going to be out until the new year. So that's a bit of a blow for them. And you look at the two centre halves, again, it's been put together. It's that could be a concern going forward for Rangers, but I don't think it will be today.
Yeah, it's not ideal, that, Gordon, because as much as Hughes said, there's maybe an opportunity there for Rangers, I'm sure the fans they're scarred enough to not think that everything's rosy all of a sudden. They know that it's still a squad that has its issues. There's not a long list of players that are having a good season, and the ones who are showing little shoots of recovery, Mikey Moore now out injured, potential issues there in defence for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Momentum's everything, and I thought Rangers were starting to get that. But if you look at their next two fixtures, both at home, well, three if you count Braga, but you're looking at Livingston today, you fancy them strongly. It'd be a real nightmare for them if they dropped anything. And then they've got Falkirk, and I know Falkirk are a good footballing side, but come to Ibrox, you expect Rangers to pick up the next 6 points out of 6.
But that's the point, isn't it? Rangers need to show them they're over that, because they've already had fixtures like this season where it's teams coming to Ibrox that you expect them to beat, and they simply haven't done that.
Yeah, but I think under the new manager, and Dad's touching it, they're building momentum, they're growing in confidence within the group, and I think that's really important for Rangers going forward, that they're starting to really put a marker down that they can win these games. And these next two games are really important for them, because they're expected to go and win, expected to probably go and win quite easily against Livingston today, and similarly against Falkirk when they face them. So they need to be stand up and be counted for, because the pressure will be on, so they need to deliver today.
At a time when Celtic are away to St Mirren and next weekend away to Hibs, there's a potential situation which could arise where Rangers by next Saturday are a point above Celtic in the table.
Yeah, Hughes went very early on that.
As he does.
Yeah, but look, I know what you're saying. It will be a hard game for Celtic tonight, but St Mirren, league-wise, aren't in the greatest of forms. They're not winning a lot of games. I fancy Celtic to win that tonight, Hugh. I do think it will be difficult. But the league will change, and you're forgetting Hibs in there sitting in third place. Few hard games coming up as well. Very tight, but you've just got to go and get the points on the board first and foremost. And it's up to Rangers today at 3 o'clock to go and get a good result and a good positive performance.
We don't see much or any really of Manny Fernandez. He was signed for quite a lot of money in relative terms. So much focus on Chermiti and the massive fee, but was it 3.5 million or something for Manny Fernandez?
Yeah.
He plays today, Cammy.
Yeah, again, it's listen, he's not really had a great amount of game time and opportunities, but this is an opportunity. He's found himself in a position that Rangers are short defensively. This has presented itself, so he needs to go and grab this. We've seen flashes of him. De Jager as well coming back into the fold, so listen, they need to strike up a partnership, because again, it looks as if that centre half position is going to be a problem position between now and January, with injuries and stuff. So listen, it's hopefully they can strike up that partnership to get the team going today.
Okay, let's park Rangers Livingston for now, because Kilmarnock Motherwell looks a tasty one. Stuart Kettlewell up against his former club, and Fraser Wishart is there.
He is against his former club, and we're approaching a vital part of the season. Kilmarnock really could do with a win for Stuart. Decent start to the season, but they've suffered 5 defeats in a row. Over the same period, Motherwell have actually taken 7 points, which has seen them come from behind Killie in the table to 5 points ahead of them in 6th place. So Killie will not want that gap to grow today. Another defeat, I think, will really hit the players' confidence even further. And we're talking about the international break and talking about it later, but there's not another break which sometimes breaks up the momentum for teams until March. And with 8 games between now and the end of the year, continuing this losing streak means there could be a danger of being stuck in a battle at the bottom of the table for Killie rather than the top 6. That said, it's so congested from third place down. A win changes everything for Kilmarnock today, but with so many games coming up, we have a better idea in the coming weeks and towards the end of this year what teams' priorities will be. Will it be top 6 for Killie? It will be just staying up, and Motherwell of course will come and try and dominate the ball. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out on this ageing artificial pitch where the ball moves really quickly off the surface. And the Fir Parkside have only lost 2 games of 11 this season, so been in decent form. The problem has been 6 draws so far, and they've lost 12 points from winning positions and haven't won here at Kilmarnock in their last 6 occasions. So Jens Bertel Askew will want those stats to change today. So hopefully an exciting 98 minutes ahead for Kilmarnock. 3 changes: out go Beach, Lyons and Stanger all drop to the bench. In come Olawayemi, Mayo and Kilty. So they go usual 3-5-2 formation. Toby Uluwayemu in goals, Lewis Mayo, Zach Williams and Robbie Dees at the back, James Brown, David Watson, Tom Lowery, Greg Kilty and Dom Thompson across the middle, Bruce Anderson and Scott Tiffany are the strikers. Eddie Beach, Rory McKenzie, Brad Lyons, Marcus Dackers, George Stanger, Marley Watkins, Tyrese, John Jules, Ben Brannan and Liam Polworth are the subs. Motherwell will make 2 changes from getting a point up at Aberdeen a couple of weeks ago. Out goes Stamatolopoulos and Just, and in comes Saeed and Henry. They go with the usual 4-2-3-1. Callum Ward in goals, Johnny Kutrumbis, Paul McGinn, Stephen Welsh and Manuel Longello at the back, Elliot Watt and Lucas Fadinger in midfield with Tawanda Maswanise, Callum Slattery and Ibrahim Saeed behind Callum Henry as the lone striker. Matthew Connolly, Liam Gordon, Kofi Balmer, Tom Sparrow, Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, Elijah Just, Oscar Priestman, Luca Ross and Reagan Charles Cook are the substitutes. The referees are up and coming young name Ryan Lee, and the VAR at Rugby Park is David Dickinson.
For your old team, Cammy Bell, and your old position as well, they need to hope Oluwayemi has a good afternoon. It feels like Kilmarnock's goalkeeping issues could be a real serious problem for them if they don't turn their fortunes around.
Yeah, listen, the injury or the illness to Max Stryk has been a major blow for Killie this season, because again, when they signed him, I thought it was a decent signing, a goalkeeper who's got Scottish experience and has got loads of experience behind him. And then when he gets injured, you look down the chain and you've got a young lad in Beach there who again got the opportunity and didn't really grab it, so they've went to the loan market and got another youngster. So they've been chopping and changing a little bit, so it's always unsettling. And Killie need a win today. Listen, they've got 2 home games in a row. They've got today against Motherwell, and then they've got Dundee United at home next week. So listen, it feels like that Kilmarnock really need to turn their fortunes around today.
And Gordon, we try not to constantly, every time a game's played on artificial pitch, mention it, because there are a couple of them in the league. There have been a few over the years. We've done it. We've done this argument to death. Just having said that, I think Fraser makes a fair point. Motherwell clearly are so determined, maybe more determined than any other of our so-called smaller teams that we've ever seen. In sort of passing the ball, you wonder if that translates today onto that surface.
Yeah, I think Motherwell will quite fancy this afternoon. Obviously, I think Cammy's right there. You're looking at Kilmarnock's form. It's been real poor. Kettlewell's coming under a lot of pressure down there, and I think Motherwell going down there a bit of confidence. They know they can pass the ball about. I think Motherwell will fancy 3 points big time here.
I think after 5 defeats on the bounce for Kilmarnock, if it's number 6 today, he's more than under pressure. He might be away.
There we go. There's Mr. Doom and Gloom. We thought we'd lost you during the week. Let's go to Easter Road for Hibs Dundee and David Friel.
No doom and gloom here, Gordon. We'll be watching one of Scotland's Hampden heroes from midweek, Grant Hanley. He's returning to club duty with Hibs today, and you never know, there might even be some Dundee fans giving him some applause today. Hanley, of course, come in at the last minute. John Suter was injured in the warm-up. Hanley comes in, plays his part in the Denmark win. I think it's fair to say the race for the World Cup squad begins now. They've had their celebrations. It's now about trying to get on that plane to America, Canada, Mexico. There's a few other Scottish Hibs players who could be in contention as well. You've got Josh Mulligan, but I think the one everybody's talking about is Kieran Bowie in attack. He lost his place to Lon Shanklin for the Greece and Denmark games, but he's got 7 months to win it back now. Bowie hasn't scored since mid-September, but this seems the perfect chance to end that run against the Dundee team, who have lost 3 in a row and conceded 9 goals in the process. In fact, Stephen Presley's side are on a terrible run. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games in the Premiership, with the 2-0 home win remarkably the only positive in that really awful period. They sit second bottom. They haven't won at Easter Road in 24 years, but I suppose after Scotland's exploits this week, this is the week to end runs like that. He's a former Hearts captain, Stephen Presley. I'm sure he'll get a nice welcome from the Hibs fans, and David Gray will be urging his players to show no mercy on a really struggling Dundee team. Hibs start the day in 3rd, and if they're going to stay among the top teams and see off the likes of Rangers who are behind them and coming fast, they have to win fixtures like this. David Gray, unsurprisingly, has named the same team that won at St Mirren 3-0 a couple of weeks ago, but there is a place noticeably on the bench for Joe Newell, the club captain, who's been out for 11 months. So Hibs are going to line up Raphael Salinger in goals, back 3 of Rocky Bashiri, Grant Hanley and Jack Iredale, Chris Cadden, Josh Mulligan, Dan Barlasser, Jamie McGrath and Nicky Cadden across the middle, with Martin Boyle and Kieran Bowie up front. Subs for Hibs are Smith, O'Hara, Levitt, Ewan, Newell, Cleege, Obita, Hoylett and Megwa. As for Dundee, they lost to Rangers last time out, really poor performance. Ryan Astley, Billy Cometto and Emil Aqua are out, and some big players coming back. Clark Robertson, Simon Murray and Jan Danda are all in. So Dundee are going to line up, looks like a 4-3-3 formation. John McCracken in goals, Drew Wright, Clark Robertson, Luke Graham and Murray Samuels at the back. Paul Digby and Ethan Hamilton with Jan Danda ahead of them in midfield. Cam Crongrave in one wing, Tony Ugan on the other, and Simon Murray through the middle. Subs for Dundee are O'Hara, Astley, Cometto, O'Reilly, Jones, Aqua, Robertson, Hay and Wesley. The referee at Easter Road is Stephen McLean, and the VAR is Grant Irvin.
Our colleague, our esteemed colleague and David Friel's gaffer, Roger Hanna, Gordon Dalziel, he's gone all the way to Dundee, and now he's got some sort of dramatic car trouble. I just wonder how sorry you feel for him, how sympathetic.
We had him on the phone. I told him to take care, be careful, don't rush home. That's for his wife. But I just had a disaster of a day.
Why are you smiling at that?
I love it, especially him. If I'd picked one of the pundits, he'd have been right up there, top.
Anyway, Dundee United, Falkirk, Kucherenko in goal for the home side. Esselink, Yovu, Survey, Sapsford, Ferry, Sibbald, Fata, Dolcek, Stevenson and Crestes. The line-up there for Dundee United. That's the one Jim Goodwin has chosen. As for John McGlynn's visitors, are having a very good season. Bain in goal, fresh from his involvement. Certainly was there for Scotland during the week. Adams, Henderson, Graham, Spencer, Allen, Tate, Wilson, Williams, Lisa and Miller. Now at this stage on a Saturday, every single week, we also always look back on the biggest talking points of the week that's just finished, and you know what's coming next. Let's relive it once more.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, "Want to bet?" I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
In her framing shop, Sally's got an eye for precision, plus a computer full of customer orders and precious memories. There are locks on the doors and sensors on the windows, but what's securing it all is BT Cybersecurity. With business antivirus, cloud protection, and security awareness training, it helps stop threats before they strike, keeping sensitive business data safe. Because protecting your business takes more than just toughened glass and a steady hand. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity.
Save £788 on the Google Pixel 10 Pro on EE. Talk with Gemini about anything you see.
Anything?
Just point your camera and ask.
Can it tell me what to wear with my new trainers?
Like your very own stylist.
And recipe ideas?
Just show it your fridge. Plus, you get stay-connected data because powerful AI deserves the UK's best network. Offer ends 4th of December.
Savings across contract and device. Terms and credit check apply. Credit by EE Limited. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
Welcome to Max Millions, the casino with winnings that are in a completely different universe. Max Millions. Make a splash and win up to 500 free spins playing Storm to Riches, plus dazzling daily jackpots on fluffy favourites and Big Bass Splash. Take your seat at maxmillions.com. New players only, £10 minimum deposit, terms apply, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Please play responsibly.
A Rayo original podcast.
Hiya, it's Gemma Atkinson. And you know what they say? You should never work with animals, kids, or your Spanish partner of almost 8 years.
8 happy years.
Oh, yeah. Join me and Gorka on our brand new podcast, Lost in Translation, where we lift the lid on family life and our perfectly imperfect relationship.
Listen to Lost in Translation now.
On the Rayo app, Apple, Amazon, Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Action as it happens. And your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Big games across the country today. We've got featured matches in the Premiership. We are looking forward to A big card in the Championship as well, a real cracker, table topping. St Johnstone go to second place Partick Thistle. So loads to get through as the afternoon progresses, but we always look back at this point on a Saturday on the biggest stories from the week that we've just witnessed. And Hugh Keevins, go on once more, just how good was it?
So good that I've never known a game, domestic, European, international, to impact on people's lives in the manner in which this one has done. The telephone calls from the end of the game through Wednesday night, Thursday night, last night have been incredible. People making plans now to go to North America, families talking about those they were with, Cammy talking about being there with his boy, Scott Allen's boy on the phone to him before the programme had ended. I've never known a game to touch that emotional chord the way Tuesday night did.
I've got to say, being there, Gordon, and I'm quite old now, it's the best 5-6 minutes I've ever had in my life. And I've had a lot of good 5 or 6 minutes, let me tell you that. It was incredible from the beginning. The national anthem, I've never been touched like that before. It was absolutely unreal standing in that stadium, and then it was a fairy tale ending. And the scenes and the gantry, even yourself nearly put us off air, cost us a lot of money with the kit, but it was worth every second, and it was frozen, I've got to say, Hugh, but it was absolutely
it's funny you say that. I'm going to be semi-serious for a minute, right, because I love Scotland, always have, always will, get really high when things go well and really low when they don't, and fully invested in it. But see, actually seeing you and how much you enjoyed it, genuinely that sort of added to the occasion for me, because it showed, like, and Kenny again, Kenny was with us, he's played 69 times for Scotland, but I think it gets you, didn't it? That got you the other night.
Listen, there was nearly tears in my eyes. I am not an emotional guy when it comes to football, and I'm not the greatest, and I'll admit it, not the greatest lover of international football, but that was special. Just to be there, to witness it, to be a part of it was absolutely incredible.
The great thing was to watch the draw for the playoffs and know that it didn't bother you. So it's been unique, a unique occasion. And Steve Clarke, 6 years on the job, and let's be honest, 50% want him out, 50% want him to stay. He's had his moments, 2 European Championship finals, hopeless in both of them, but he has left the country an indelible memory, immortal memory.
Fraser Wishart, I was going to say everything's been said already, but nobody really quite knows how to sum it up anyway, so I feel like we're not even close to drawing a line under this where we just keep opening our mouths and seeing what comes out next in terms of the memories and the stories and the emotions that were stirred and the achievement and the standard of the goals and what's still to come next summer. It was just absolutely sensational, wasn't it?
Oh, it was everything you've said, Gordon, and the guys have said as well, and I'm with you, the emotions, and I think the country needed it a wee bit. And I was even watching the goals again this morning. I was watching videos that have been sent to me in WhatsApp chats of supporters. I was actually in Lisbon, and the World Players Union's FIFPro, I'm on the board of it, so we're at this posh meeting, and I'm watching the game on my laptop. The Danish Union, who are good friends of mine, are watching it over the back. There's colleagues around, there's UEFA, FIFA, and I'm just jumping up and down with my Scottish colleagues, watching every single minute of it. People were surrounding our table. The excitement was unbelievable. And then, like Cammy, my children are older. My daughter's 28, son's 26. They haven't seen Scotland play in a World Cup final. Both big football fans. Daughter goes every week to see it, mum. Phone home, she's crying. So and I'm almost crying as well. So we've all got these emotions, and I grew up 9 years old, 74 World Cup was the first one, and it just became the norm right through my football career, always hoping to maybe get a chance to play in it as well. It was just the norm. But for this whole generation below us, this is just brand new, and I'm getting emotional talking about it, Hugh. It was just one of the special nights, and I won't forget it.
Fraser, were you crying because you were paying for the call?
Well, listen, I made sure that all the wine was free, don't you worry, that was on FIFPro.
Well, I was going to say, does being part of FIFPro get you tickets to the World Cup, does it?
Well, I don't know. I've been trying to use my influence on the board to have some sort of special meeting and make it sure it's wherever Scotland are playing. But I'm hoping. But listen, if I don't go, then I'll be doing something special. It's just an amazing night, and watching the videos time and time again still brings goosebumps to me. I never thought I would see a better goal than Archie Gemmell's, but now I have. I've seen maybe two with better than Archie Gemmell's. So a great night, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, David Friel, I think we all knew clearly on this show that it was more than just a game sort of thing. We all know that, and everybody that's listening knows that. But if anybody's in any doubt, just the way this has genuinely like swept the nation and made everybody talk about one event, one 90-minute event on the south side of Glasgow. We're 4 or 5 days on, still everybody's talking about it. It's actually been overwhelming a bit in a sense, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I arrived at Easter Road probably 45 minutes ago maybe, and I think 90% of the chat I've had with colleagues and just guys around the club at Hibs here, it's all been about Scotland. Even out and about this morning, people still want to ask, were you at the game, were you covering the game, all that sort of stuff. And it was a mixture of euphoria, relief, but I think we also realised even there and then that we'd witnessed a bit of history, just in terms of the game, in terms of how the game went and just what it meant to the nation. And now everybody's just talking about next summer. Gordon, what's the plans for World Cup, what you do and all that sort of stuff as well. And I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they'll both be getting Scotland ships from Santa Claus, I think, this Christmas.
That's it, you've got to start getting the plans in place. I'm doing that thing that you've got to try and predict what size they're going to be in the summer.
Yes.
It's only a baby, do you know what I mean? Don't want to go too early, don't want it to drown them. It's a very difficult balancing act. Right, go on then, Gordon, the goals. Where did they rank on the night? Is your thoughts on the best Scotland goal you've ever seen now changed? Take it away.
The best goal I've ever seen live in all my years in football, McTominay's.
So not just best Scotland goal, best goal you've ever seen.
Goal I've ever seen live. I've got to say that's where it stands for me. I look at the other goals. We had a great view of Tierney's goal, brilliant. Kenny McLean, unbelievable. And I'm even going to mention Shankland because it's part of it. I know it's a striker's goal and it's a good goal, but McTominay, to see the height that he was up and still hanging there waiting for the ball to come to him, and the finish was brilliant.
Best Scotland goal ever. I've just got this notion quickly as well that and beat the pundit in 2042 there'll be a question, who scored the other goal for Scotland that night? It'll be Lawrence Shankland. Cammy, for you, where do these rank?
Listen, McTominay is number one for me. I'd agree with that. His best goal I've seen. It was just incredible, the height that he got, the accuracy, managed to generate the power past a fantastic goalkeeper in Kasper Schmeichel as well. So listen, it was just an incredible moment watching him deliver that goal to all the Scotland fans, and I think that just set us right up for the game. I know that for periods in the game we dropped off after that quite a lot, but it just set everyone the tone that we could go and win that. The belief started to happen then, and it was just an incredible game overall. I think we all know that football divides and the game brings frustration and anger to a lot of fans, but certainly on Tuesday night I just thought it brought the whole nation together, and it was so special.
A week ago today, round about 9 o'clock in the evening, we were 3-0 down to Greece. Then we scored the first of 6 goals in 2 games. 6! Us! And included among them, McTominay, forever the number one goal. Kieran Tierney, incredible. And Kenny McLean's goal, out of this world. For me, there's an almost, and I might as well exaggerate to the,
I don't think you can.
nth degree, there's almost a paranormal, surreal night at Hampden, because you've not only qualified for the World Cup, first time in 28 years, you've not only done it by topping the group, first time since 1982, but you've done it with 3 goals out of the 4 that would be contenders for greatest goals ever scored by Scotland. 3. As they say in the Barras, not 1, not 2, but 3.
Where did you land on? Did McTominay best of them all?
Yes.
And of all time as well?
Of all time.
David Friel, what are you thinking?
McTominay, the best of them all, the best of all time. I'm going to give Kieran Tierney second place just because of how important it was, how much he controlled his shot and what a finish it was, and then Kenny McLean for the icing of the cake.
Yeah, I mean, Fraser, doesn't really matter, we're not trying to downgrade any of them, but everyone's got their favourites in their own ways. Did those knock? I think you mentioned earlier Archie Gemmell used to be your favourite. Has that changed now?
Yeah, Archie Gemmell still gives me goosebumps some 50 years on, or whatever the time scale is as well, but McTominay's is certainly the best I've seen. I mean, to the timing to do that, not only the skill to execute it, but the timing of your jump to hang, to then execute it as well is way the best. But at that point, you're thinking, it's usual Scott, it's too early. So then we're hanging on, and Scotland never make it easy. And I think it was the emotion of the whole night, from that first minute to the very last. You were in absolute turmoil as Denmark really put us under the cosh. Then we get a goal up, we're playing against Temen, it's 2-2, into stoppage time. I just had a wee gut feeling we were going to get something, but Kieran Tierney, I think that David's right, the skill, and just to be calm in that situation, because a wee bit of time to think about it. It wasn't an instinctive one, it had time to think about it, and it was easy to blast that one over. That was absolutely brilliant. So you can't exaggerate it, Gordon, as you were saying, you can't overdo it. We're all still buzzing, and it's fantastic. We'll be buzzing until next summer.
And it felt a great thing, Hugh, if we're now really analysing everything in micro detail about Kenny McLean's, because there's one thing scoring a brilliant goal at the end to take the pressure off and make sure it's absolutely secure, because Gordon will tell you, I think in the stadium at 3-2 you're absolutely not sure, the time is just ticking on, they've got a lot of the ball, but how extra special was it that it was a strike that took so long to go in? Because it just did something to the occasion. Everybody's, you've all heard the BBC radio commentary where the commentators are shouting shoot, people want Steve Clark's pointing to send him into the corner, and then when it leaves his boot, a bit of a cliche, but you talk about it in slow motion, you see everybody at Hampden watching the ball and just sailing. Kasper Schmeichel, God bless him, trying his best to scamper back.
When the ball left Kenny McLean's foot, Scott Allen was in his seat, and then he got up very slowly, and then he stared at the screen, and then he went in to a break dance.
I mentioned this last night. The best thing for me at that point was because we, Gordon Dale, were at the stadium. I had put my headphones on because we were about to go live again to the Nation and Super Scoreboard. But of course Hugh and Scott Allen and Andrew McLean in the studio, they're obviously just a couple of seconds behind. They're watching it on TV, so I know the ball's hit the back of the net, but they don't, and I know what joy they're about to get. And it was just an amazing way of living it, wasn't it?
It was incredible. I think both Kenny Miller and myself were in the camp of take it in the corner, pass it.
I think you were swearing, actually.
I was. My language wasn't good, and then all of a sudden I'm screaming at McLean, giving him dog's abuse, and then 2 seconds later I love him, I'm shouting I love you, I love you, I love you. It was such an emotional moment, and see the fact that you look down and all the staff, the players, the subs, and they just sprint towards him, and you know the World Cup.
It was such an amazing moment, and something I want to mention as well, being the Goalkeepers Union, is Craig Gordon. Listen, we spoke about it for so long, weeks before it, who's going to be the goalkeeper, who's got to stand in and be counted for. And listen, Craigie stood up and he done a phenomenal job. Again, the pressure, the magnitude that was on them 2 games, and listen, he absolutely handled it, no problem. I spoke to him on Wednesday actually after it, and he just mentioned that he'd never ever felt like that in his whole career, and just had that feeling of joy. And I was so happy for him, because listen, he's 42-year-old, going to be 43, going to a World Cup, and it's just an incredible story.
On behalf of the Goalkeepers Union, does he get a game for Hearts tomorrow at Aberdeen?
No, he won't, but again, what he's got is a decision in January to make. Does he stay at Hearts, or does he go on loan and move on to put himself in a better position? Because for me, he's Scotland's number 1.
He'll be the second oldest player ever to play at a World Cup if he goes and features next summer. And on that, I mean, David Friel, that's kind of the point. Everything's now different, isn't it? Everything now feels different. Every game you go to, like you're there today, you're looking for players that might make it into the squad. Every established member who's definitely going, you're holding your breath every time they go down to make sure they're not injured. 5th of December we'll have the World Cup draw. Hugh Keevins has been down to Barhead Travel, other travel agents are available, looking for the family holiday. Everything's just different.
Yeah, it generally does start now, and when I was talking about Kieran Bowie and guys like Grant Hanley and Josh Mulligan, I was being deadly serious, Gordon. I mean, Steve Clark now, it will be, I'm sure he'll take a week or 2 off, but then he'll start going to games again, and it's a chance to impress. He'll be keeping an eye on things. Stephen Naismith will be doing the rounds, Alan Irvine will be the same. These guys have a chance to impress, chance to win their place in the squad, to secure their place in the squad, all of that. Yeah, it changes everything, and it brings a different dimension to the season for every Scottish player now. We can all look forward to the draw, but for these guys, there's 26 places I think in the squad for the finals, and they all want to be there.
This show has been running for decades, and every season we take thousands, literally thousands of calls. Before we move on and get back to today's football, I'm going to do something a bit different and leave you with Lee from Wishaw, who called on Wednesday night, I think it was, and he put it better than any of us ever could. This is what the week has been like. This is what it meant to everyone.
My dad passed away. We were sitting last year, and it was a day before he went into St Andrews Hospital. We were sitting last year in that game against Poland, and he was kind of dozing in and out of sleep, and we were kind of watching it together. And Andy Robertson scored that last minute goal, and my dad let this roar out, like just came from nowhere. Let this roar out, and it was his last kind of real bit of emotion that he'd let out. But he loved Scotland. I mean, he used to tell me all the stories about going down to, I think we played Wales in a playoff in Anfield, and he used to tell me all these stories, and he loved it. And when we were sitting there that night, I can remember holding his hand, and he let this roar out, and he was struggling. It was a shame for him, but he let this roar out, and I remember thinking to myself, I'll always feel that emotion that he had that night. And I had my two kids, my wee boy at 7 and my wee girl at 10 last night, and we were watching the game, and the emotions were high and they were low and they were high. And when KT stuck that 25 yarder into the back of the net, I'm telling you now, I can shut my eyes and I can see my two Waynes on the other sofa jumping up and down, cuddling each other. And if I could honestly, if I died tomorrow, I would have that memory in my head of the two Waynes. It was unbelievable, honestly.
The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Let's bring ourselves back down to earth with Hugh Keevins, Cammy Bell and Gordon Dalziel and the top team round the grounds. I think we all needed a couple of minutes to recover from Lee's call, which we just replayed again. Jamie's on Twitter and says, can't believe you've just played that call again. There's me greeting again. Cheers. Incredible call. Best ever, says Jamie Dock on Twitter. Let's go back round the grounds though, because we do have big games to look forward to today, and of course Rangers Livingston is chief among them in this city. Andrew?
Yeah, it's a big game, but Danny Rowe seems like the type of character that likes to go about his business quite quietly. While, a lot of the focus over the last week has been on Scotland qualifying for the World Cup. Yesterday it was Celtic's AGM. This is probably exactly what Danny Rowe wants, is a 3 o'clock kick-off at home against a team bottom of the league. A chance now to get a fourth league win in a row, move within 2 points of Celtic if they can before Celtic play against St Mirren tonight. And he just wants to go step by step, trying to improve this team and these players to see if he can keep on closing that gap above them. He will, as we mentioned earlier, he'll have to do it without some players in key roles that have featured for him over the last few weeks. The likes of John Souttar, Mikey Moore, who had been coming onto a game, Derek Cornelius as well. But Rowe saying this is a real opportunity for players to step up, show what they can offer this team. Maybe players who haven't quite hit the mark so far or haven't been given an opportunity so far. None more so today than Emmanuel Fernandez. Came in the summer for a big fee. There were question marks pretty much straight away about his credentials coming in from Peterborough. He's only featured 3 times, hasn't even been making the bench at times for Rangers this season. But he'll be hoping this is the type of game in that he can come into, he can settle into, and then kick on from, because Rangers are going to need someone to step in to the centre of defence in the absence of the likes of Souttar and Cornelius. Rangers need to find a goal scorer as well. Danilo leading the line today. He's sometimes shown flashes of what he can do in a Rangers top and shown what he's capable of, but he needs to stay fit. That is his one big issue. Will Danny Rowe be the man that's able to unlock his best form? Will Bojan Miovski be able to recreate the form that he showed at Aberdeen? Will Yusuf Chermiti, when he comes back from injury, be able to show what the transfer fee that was paid for him is all about? Certainly things for Danny Rowe to consider and work on, but as I say, this is just another game that he'll be hoping that can pass without incident, get 3 points on the board and keep on building.
Yep, plenty to look forward to at Ibrox. Let's go to Kilmarnock Motherwell with Fraser Wishart, and Hugh Keevins has gone from a rare dose of positivity, Fraser, to starting to put the nail in the Stuart Kettlewell coffin if they lose again today. But not at that stage yet, are we?
I don't think so, but you can't keep losing games. In the modern world, we know fans start to put pressure on boards and they react quickly. I'm sure he wasn't universally popular with the Kilmarnock supporters when he was appointed. Maybe a bit of apathy, maybe give him a chance, but it wasn't as if they were lining the streets and congratulating him. And of course, it's only 10 months since he left Motherwell, and those circumstances as well. Motherwell fans weren't happy with his comments because he was getting a bit of abuse, but they weren't happy with his style of play, 3-5-2, getting the ball back to front. And I think there'd be nothing better for Stuart than to take his style of play against the completely opposite style of Motherwell against Bertil Askew and actually win the game. I don't think they will. I do fancy Motherwell to win this. As I said earlier, they've got this problem of getting ahead and dominating games and dropping points, and they've done that so often this season, including the game at Fir Park earlier this season when they were 2-1 up with 9 minutes to go, Motherwell, and George Stanger scored an equaliser. So I don't think Stuart's quite on the precipice yet, but there's a lot of games between now and the end of December, and it's a really key period both for Kilmarnock as a club and for Stuart Kettlewell. We need to win some games in quickly.
I don't know if this is a good thing, but he does have history at Motherwell of going on long poor runs and then turning things round. Like I said, I don't know if that's something you necessarily want on your CV, but it does show that it's possible.
Yeah, and also he turns it around and goes on a long sort of winning run or picking up of points. But I don't think the Kilmarnock fans, the Kilmarnock board, they're not particularly trigger happy. I can't think of too many that they've lost their jobs quickly, one or two post Steve Clarke I can recall. But he needs a victory or two, and quickly, and he's got a decent squad when you look at it for the Scottish Premiership. But if you don't win in the next few games and the other teams around you do, they could end up being isolated at the bottom with maybe the likes of Dundee and Livingston in a scrap just to stay up rather than getting into the top six. So it's a big day for Stuart, it's a big day for Kilmarnock, but I'm afraid for the Kilmarnock fans, I don't think they'll get anything today. I fancy Motherwell to win this comfortably.
Like, in a strange way, David, feel Hibs are kind of gone under the radar because there was so much hype about them. I think kind of pre-season they did well enough performance-wise in the qualifiers, but then it tailed off a bit and they couldn't quite get the wins they wanted, so people almost assumed that things weren't going well. But I mean, you look at that, sitting in third place, all this talk about Rangers trying to catch Celtic and then eventually Hearts. Hibs are levelling points with Rangers at the moment.
Yeah, and look, they've been doing fine, Gordon. I mean, I think they've only lost 2 of their 12 games so far, but I think the one regret about David Gray would be that they just don't have a bigger points tally, because this will be their 6th home game of the season. They've only won 1. You know, they've drawn at home to likes of St Mirren, Kelly, Dundee United. They threw away 2 points against Livingston a couple of weeks ago as well. So I think David Gray will be happy with their position and the fact they're not losing games, but there's been certain times of the season where they've just been guilty of throwing away leads and not seeing out games. I mean, they've scored a decent amount of goals, 21, but they've kind of conceded vital goals at vital times, and I think he will look and say, look, we should have more points on the board, but it's not a disaster because, as you said, they are levelling points with Rangers right now. But these are the games. They've got a run, Hibs, coming up now of 3 of the next 4 games are at home. They've obviously got Celtic next week here and then Falkirk after that, and David Gray will be targeting those games to get more points on the board, but they need to win against Dundee. I mean, I've seen Dundee a few times. They're not great, they're second bottom for a reason. They're really, really struggling. They concede goals too easily, they can't score enough, so this is a game that Hibs have to win.
Just while we've got you, before we move on and get the kick-offs, David, feel something I'm sure we'll get into later on, and probably in the phone lines as well. I hear you chuckling, I know what's coming here. You know what's coming here, I should say. Celtic's AGM yesterday, David. Now, generally, most years you and I get sent along by our respective media outlets, and sometimes it has its moments and there's a little hint of madness here and there. You have 60 seconds to try and sum that up yesterday.
I'll sum it up. I thought Kenny McLean's goal was the last jaw-dropping moment of the week, and then Ross Desmond started to speak. Look, I'll start with the red cards, the chants and all the disruption at the start. For me it was needless, Gordon. Everybody knows, the man in the moon knows that there's sections of the Celtic support unhappy with the direction of the club. I don't think there was any need to put on that sort of public protest at the AGM. There was shareholders there. We heard tales of guys that travelled from London and other distances to listen to the board, to ask questions. They deserved the chance to do so. I heard you last night, I agree. I thought that there was a kind of conciliatory tone from Peter Lawwell, Michael Nicholson and the VTs. I thought we were going to get to the Q&A. Obviously they had the earlier adjournment. And Michael and Peter Lawwell both said that mistakes had been made and that lessons had to be learned, but then I think the Ross Desmond statement just turned up the temperature to a point where there was no way the AGM could continue. I mean, he spoke about the factions targeting board members, and I think we'd all agree that when it gets personal at that, and we've seen it at Rangers as well with Kevin Farewell, Patrick Stewart, it's not on. And I think he clearly felt it was a chance to defend those in power. However, I think the content of the statement pretty much just poured fuel in the flames. It's a bad situation. His statement has gone viral now. It's made that bad situation worse. And while I think he will say he was talking about certain sections of the sport, I think there's large swathes of the Celtic fan base who are now even angrier with those in power.
Well, they will not get anywhere with the protest because the Desmond family effectively own Celtic. There will be no sacking of anyone on the board, and the only way the situation changes is if someone makes an offer for the Desmond family shares in Celtic and the club passes into new hands, because there might be anarchy presently within the club, but it's not going to change because no board member will be sacked, no member of the Desmond family will walk away. You have anarchy and impasse at the same time.
Fraser Wishart, have you ever seen anything quite like it? It's one of those sort of unwritten rules about football, isn't it? Because we know it's a business, but we also know it's so emotionally entwined, and yeah, you can call them customers, but they're fans. That's the point. They dedicate their lives emotionally, they dedicate much of their finances to you. Have you ever seen a scenario where the son of a major shareholder refers to elements of the fan base as aggressive, irrational factions whose only vocation in life is to be anti-establishment, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, the wording was quite incredible, and I think the danger for the Celtic board is that not every Celtic supporter is against them, but if they keep going then they might turn all of them against them, and that's not a good thing. I agree with Hugh. You know, the supporters that want Dermot Desmond out and they want all the rest of the board out, then it's business. So they need to find somebody that's going to put their hand in their pocket. And Celtic have done really well financially. They're a big club. The shares will be a big value. Dermot Desmond might say, well, okay, who's going to buy me out? You know, and that might be the issue they have. But for Celtic as a club, you know, the board of directors, I think, have done really well over the years. I mean, they've built a really good team. I've got sympathy with them in terms of spending money, because I know about the UEFA club licensing rules and now the squad cost rules, etc. as well. But they need to get together, because this is a vital season, and there's no doubt that these things, however small they are, they can affect things on the park. And you get players who are not playing at their top form, who are lacking in confidence as well, and that's the most important thing here, is the results on the pitch. And I think yesterday, the fact it was closed down, actually there's a missed opportunity to actually ask the directors, ask the board really pertinent questions, and that's now gone. So those supporters that disrupted that have cost their fellow supporters, fellow shareholders, that opportunity.
Let's push that to one side, because we are just minutes away. The return of domestic football. It was quite the international break. Let's see what the Scottish Premiership and other leagues deliver when we kick off next.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Go on then, very quickly, because we're already underway, so I don't want to give you any clues, but give us your ACCA, Hugh Keevins, if you can.
Rangers home win, Motherwell away win, Hibs home win, and Dundee United home win.
I'm going Rangers home win, Kilmarnock Motherwell draw, Hibs home win, and Dundee United home win.
Rangers, Kilmarnock, Hibs Dundee draw, Dundee United.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
Not the best start to life in the first team for Emmanuel Fernandez. 10 seconds in, passes it back to Jack Butland, hits off his ankle, and Butland has to recover and boot it out for a throw-in. But he's got plenty of time to make up for it. Maybe a bit nervy at the start. It's just a throw-in. We won't hold it against him too much. But again, if you're Livy, we know that going there is tough, and you might not see a lot of the ball, and you're maybe in survival football. But even though Rangers are better, you still need to try and test that back line, don't you?
Yeah, I said earlier to Cammy there, I fancy Livy to get a goal today. I'm not a big fan of the two centre halves. I think they can give you chances. If I was a centre forward, I fancy maybe upsetting them, but I still think Rangers will win comfortably. But I will not be surprised if Livy score at Ibrox.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the two centre halves. Of what I've seen from them both so far, I think they do give up opportunities for the opposition. So listen, there might be a chance for Livingston today. If I was David Martindale, it would be very direct up to them, put them under pressure as much as you can. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Livingston have lost more goals than any other team in the Premiership. They are bottom of the Premiership table for a reason. They're hopeless.
As are your predictions, though, to be fair.
To be fair,
is worth bearing that in mind. There's been a booking already at Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock's Tom Livery booked for pulling back Ibrahim's side. It's even though it shouldn't matter, it often does. You don't usually see refs doing that. Less than, I think, 2 minutes on the clock. inside. He's still in his own half, but he is sort of breaking forward. Lowry's had a nibble, pulled him down, and now a long 88 minutes or so in a booking.
It certainly is, and again, you're right. They normally give that little warning, one more will allow you away with it, but he's obviously card happy today and managed to get the card out. But as you say, a long 88 minutes.
Do you know what?
To last.
What? If it hadn't been for the Scotland game, if it hadn't been for the Rami, the Celtic AGM, your interview yesterday with Stephen Robinson would have got far greater headlines than it got so far, because
for a displeasure.
Yeah, for a man to say, look, it's not working, it should be scrapped. A Premiership manager who had a game against Celtic tonight and quite candidly stating it doesn't work, it's more bother than it's worth, and it should be scrapped.
I'll be keen to get Stephen Robinson's thoughts in the 92nd minute when VAR awards a penalty to St Mirren and wins the game. But we'll wait and see. Bruce Anderson's actually now lucky not to be booked. He's sort of hacked down Stephen Welsh. A strange one. Maybe quite fortunate to escape punishment there, but a free kick to Motherwell in their own half. There's a lively start by Hibs. Nicky Cadden to Boyle back in, and there's Kieran Bowie, who can't connect properly from 6 yards. It was a bit of a miss hit. Look, we'll do this, we'll do it every week, we'll do it every match day. Oh, we've got a goal already in one of our featured matches though. Which way is it gone?
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Roger Hanna doesn't know because he's still locked out his car, but it is Falkirk who've taken the lead at Tannadice. The Bairns going so well in the return to the top flight. And remember, these two met on the opening weekend. It was a fascinating 2-2 draw. We've got an early goal here, Calvin Miller, after 4 minutes.
Well, terrific start for John McGlynn. I don't think any of us forecast Falkirk to get anything, but if you're going to lose a goal, Daz,
lose it early, Hugh.
Correct.
Yeah, and Dundee United coming off that very good result against Hearts at Tynecastle before the international break. I thought home advantage, but once again, Falkirk, sitting there 5th in the league. Incredible, playing some great stuff, and what a start.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad Spencer, the skipper, great ball through the middle. Miller's there, he hits a shot, the goalie then spills it. It's a bit of a poor one from the goalkeeper, the Goalkeepers Union. Cammy will have to have a word, and he picks up his own rebound, if you like, and finishes off.
Yeah, listen, there's been a few mistakes this season from the Dundee United goalkeeper, so that sounds as if it's another one that he could have done better with. So but a brilliant start for Falkirk. Calvin Miller again is a really effective player. You mentioned Brad Spencer, the captain. I think he's a fantastic player, so brilliant start for them and John McGlynn.
I think these things come in cycles, and I know we're being a bit knee-jerk just after this one incident perhaps, but is the overall goalkeeping standard in the top flight maybe a bit lower than it has been?
Poor.
Come on. You think it's poor? Yeah, listen, I think when you look at a number of teams, I think there has been a drop-off. It normally is really high standards for me, and I think there's slightly this season a little bit of a drop-off.
So we sort of judge it like who are the best goalies and the best teams. I think even Celtic fans would say Kasper Schmeichel sort of has his moments. Jack Butland probably is having a good season overall, but has his moments. Behind that,
is there an outstanding goalkeeper this season?
Not.
I like St Mirren's goalkeeper.
Shamal George. Yeah,
I like him.
Again, you would was it last week or the week before he played a pass out that again I think was a bit heavy, put his defender under pressure.
Yeah.
It wasn't
the Hibs game.
It wasn't just a mistake, but it was an important point at that moment.
There's a big goal in the Championship, and it's the team in second place that have taken the lead. It's Partick Thistle 1, St Johnstone 0. Dan O'Reilly after 6 minutes, and you have to say, what a start after your manager's been on his post-wedding lash all week.
Yeah, what a week he's having. Absolutely brilliant. Getting married and now off to the perfect start.
They really could not afford to lose that game today because they're 6 behind St Johnstone. They have a game in hand, but if St Johnstone were to win 9 points, the optics wouldn't be good. But well done, Mark.
But it flips as well. If he wins that today, that is massive.
After being battered by them on the opening day of the season.
Absolutely. I get what Hugh's saying, that it's a big game for me either way. If Partick go and win this game, that is a huge statement.
I think you can almost imagine though the team talk before the game, because probably stung a bit by the opening day of the season, but in there saying, boys, listen, the week I've had just goes to show you that, see when everything looks lost, see when you think that there's no hope and that you've been abandoned,
There's always hope.
The people closest to you will always pull through for you in the end. Like when Gordon Dalziel, against all odds, turned up at my wedding after missing the start of it due to a personal crisis. He fought his way there. He showed what real commitment and teamwork is all about, and he made it there in the most dramatic fashion. Honestly, I thought that was going to be the highlight of my week. We're going to have to blame Mr. McTominay and McLean and Tierney for taking it away, but you turning up, honestly, I'll never get sick of the memory of it.
It was down to what you call timing in life.
Have you not heard this story,
I
Cammy?
walked about Merchant City for about 20 minutes trying to find a place that wasn't even
So
where he was
you
getting
know
married.
none of this?
No, go for it.
Right,
I
very,
can't
no,
wait.
very
Quickly.
quick. It has to be quick.
Yeah.
Mark Wilson's wedding last
Yes,
Sunday.
yes.
How
Knew
excited
that.
has he been?
Amazing.
Botox,
Absolutely.
new outfits, everything, right? Saturday night, he genuinely has quite a serious personal incident, bit of a crisis. And, oh no, I want to get back to it.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Goal Rangers, and it's Manny Fernandez. Not necessarily what he was in the team for, but he is a big laddie, as they say. He is massive, and he has risen highest, heads from a corner and into the back of the net. A combination of Emmanuel Fernandez coming in to show what he can do, and maybe Rangers' new set-piece coach as well, showing his work.
Well, yeah, I mean, what a week it's been for fate. You know, the guy who can't get a game for Rangers, who's only there because of injuries to others, £3.5 million, and people were saying waste of money, and up he pops. It's been that kind of week.
But again, it's opportunities. Can you take your opportunity when you get it? Again, you mentioned his nervy start from that back pass. He's reacted well and managed to get on the end of a cross and an important goal for Rangers, because that just settles them down, puts them in a nice place for the rest of the game, and a brilliant start for them.
Makes it a long day for Livy.
Yeah, it certainly does. Game plan out the window right away, but it's up to Rangers. If they can go and get another quick goal, it could be a comfortable afternoon.
Tell you what, pay rise for the set-piece coach. Have Rangers scored directly from a corner yet?
That's a good point.
Oh no, did Raskin?
Yeah.
Raskin at Dundee?
Raskin at Dundee, forget that. Fernandez did actually score against Alloa in the Cup. I remember that as well, didn't he? He did score a header, I'm sure he did, when he came in that day, because he's huge. That's the other thing.
Big
See,
lad.
if you were to draw a centre half, it is him, but it's just
It'll
he's
be
not
interesting with the
team.
new set piece coach coming in, because Rangers concede a lot of goals from set pieces defensively, so I'm pretty sure he'll be working on that as well as the attacking side. But certainly he's got to take plaudits from this early success.
Yes, so Rangers in the lead early on, which is always so important, isn't it? As you say, it makes it really difficult now for Livy to sort of stick to what their game plan would have been.
Yeah, it's a disappointing one, because when you go away to teams like that, especially at Ibrox, Celtic Park, you think, right, settle into the game, don't give them any encouragement. And I would say Rangers, if they could get another quick one, will win this easily 3 or 4.
Yeah, good chance Hibs, Boyle, Mulligan, Bowie all involved. McGrath on the end of it, not enough power, and saved in the end. So quickly, Cammy Bell, he's had his Botox done.
Yep.
Midnight, night before the wedding, there's a bit of an incident. It's a serious one. He can't make it to the wedding. He's heartbroken. So we get there, his seat's empty, his +1 seat's empty, and then eventually, during Mark Wilson's speech, everybody's sitting facing the front. It's silent. Everybody's sitting facing the front, and he climbs the stairs which lead into the middle of the room. So he appears in the middle of the room, strides forward, embraces Mark Wilson. They're just hugging in the middle of the speech. And it was like,
I love that.
I think the analogy I used during the week, it was like one of those Facebook videos where a American soldier comes back from Iraq to surprise his kid at karate lessons.
And Mark will have had that filmed, I'm presuming.
Yeah, we're going to get the footage.
Mate,
Amazing.
when I come up the stair, I look and I think, this is a very small wedding. There's not a lot of tables there. I went up and I turned round, and there must have been about 100 people behind me. I didn't know who was behind me, but quickly gone. I would like to give a real thank you to Ern and Michelle at Wishaw Hospital on Saturday night into the early hours of Sunday morning. Thank you very much. Their help, everything was priceless. Thank you so much.
Good on you. The other thing is, though, the extra details have been making their way to me throughout the week. So a guy sent me a message to say that he was sitting in the candle rigs having a drink, Hugh Keevins, and Gordon Dalziel staggered over and said, "Is this the Merchant City?" I didn't even know where in the town he was. And the reason he was late is because the wedding was in Citation, in town, but he was going around the streets asking people where is Critation. Does anybody know where Critation is?
It was all down to timing, mate. People were actually, this is what really annoyed me, people were coming up in the wedding saying, did you two stage that?
No, you couldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely not a chance.
Right, Hugh, enough of that, let's do this.
The first half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Short and sweet. Can you tell me the last 5 Celtic players to have won the Player of the Year award and the Scottish Football Writers Association award in the same year? The last 5 Celtic players to have won the Players' Player of the Year award and the Scottish Football Writers Association award in the same year.
Oh, it's very brave. Usually they just pull those questions out in May when it gets to award season. They've gone early.
Yeah.
We'll just use them then anyway, and no one will remember. At Clyde SSB, get your answers in. It is a race, so we're looking for all of the correct answers on one tweet and do it before everyone else. That said, if you want to just throw some names out and see what sticks, you are of course more than welcome. As you would expect at Rugby Park, Motherwell with the majority of possession, moving it around nice enough, but no chances yet. Killie with no chances yet either. A decent running cross from Scott Tiffany, but no takers there. We do have a goal, remember, on the board already at Ibrox, and it is Manny Fernandez brought in from the cold to start the match in the absence of John Suter and Derek Cornelius. There's a new set piece coach as well, and they've teamed up to convert a header from a corner.
Do set piece coaches get the credit for a simple corner thrown in and a big guy heading it in?
Oh, nowadays they do. Have you not noticed it in England? Honestly, every time a set piece goal is scored now, the camera zooms to Arsenal's, and Austin McPhee's making a career out of it.
It must be the easiest job in football.
Yeah.
Right. What do you get paid for that? Right, you turn up.
No, not it.
It is easy.
It's not. You're doing that old guy thing. Don't do that.
Easy.
You're better than that.
You need
You're
to get
a
the
modern
players to
man.
listen to you. I don't think that's and switch on, because half of them probably don't do that.
You turn up, you watch the training, you go, right boys, up here, this is the corner, boom, boom,
You need
boom.
to study the opposition.
Don't get me wrong. Clearly a lot of it nowadays is getting overstated and is laid into too much, and you still need a good delivery, but there is a lot of time and detail goes into it. Because what they'll do is they'll analyse every corner Livy have ever defended, look at who needs to stand where, who needs to run where, what the type of delivery is. So yeah, look,
I'll be more impressed when I see from a throw-in.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1, and it is Tawanda Maswanisi, Motherwell's biggest goal threat by a mile this season. He's been on fire, but it's a mistake at the back by former Motherwell defender Dominic Thompson. Should have headed it away. Maswanisi controls the ball and toe pokes it in low from 6 yards.
Well, Fraser Wishart's there, and he said pre-match, you can't go on losing games. Kilmarnock have lost the last 5 on the bounce, and they're a goal down already.
They are playing the league specialist at throwing away winning positions in Motherwell, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, not the start Kelly would have wanted. Opposite for Motherwell, of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely not the start Kilmarnock wanted at Rugby Park. I spoke how important it was they get a result today, because they're on a terrible run. There's no getting away from that, and I feel like this is an important couple of games coming up for Kilmarnock and Stuart Kettlewell. They need to turn the tide, but flip it on that. Motherwell, brilliant start for them. Seems as if they've dominated the game, which they do so often. It'll just be interesting to see if they can manage to build on that lead.
Yeah, it's not good times down at Rugby Park, I've got to say. Stuart coming under a lot of pressure. Still time to go. Listen, it's still early, but he needs his players to show a bit of character this afternoon.
I liked an anecdote someone I know told me about Jens Bertolascu, the Motherwell manager, and this person in question was speaking to him for ages the other day. He's waxing lyrical about how good it was at Hampden and how amazing it was for Scotland and Scott McTominay and so on and so forth, and only after it remembered that he's Danish. We've got another goal at Ibrox.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Rangers 1, Livingston 1. The lead did not last long. We said Manny Fernandez had Rangers in front, but it's a long ball over the top. It's a bit soft by Rangers. A great touch by Tete Yengi, and pokes the ball past Jack Butland, and we are level.
Did not see that coming, I have to say. Yeah, you saw it coming.
He did. He said Livy would score.
Said he would score.
He
Yeah,
did.
he did.
All right, well, fair play to you, Daz. Turning up late for wedding is good for you.
Yeah, I just look at those two centre halves. I look at that back four. I'm not a fan of them, and they would give you up chances, and obviously that's what's happened, and Livingston have capitalised.
Yes, it's massively disappointing because we were speaking about a couple of minutes ago of Rangers building on this lead, the perfect start, but again it sounds like a simple avoidable goal, a ball straight over the top. They don't deal with it, and Livingston punish them. So yeah, game on now.
It's no disappointing for Livy, let me tell you. They'll be absolutely delighted. What's interesting though, and before we make the point, yeah, we probably do overanalyse systems and make too much of them, but direct balls over the top were causing Rangers problems earlier in the season.
Yep.
Fair. Danny Rule came in, changed to a back three, and spoke about trying to stop that, and it worked for a bit. But they've now gone back to a back four. And all of a sudden today it's caught them out. However, offside potentially. VAR check.
Interesting.
Come in, Stephen Robinson.
Always the case. Airdrie 0, Ayr 1. Mark McKenzie with the goal there.
I get your point on the systems, and I totally understand that, but again, you analyse a lot of these direct balls that have went over the top, and I think it's a lot to do with communication, positional sense from the centre halves, and it's Rangers goals are always avoidable. I feel that they've lost this season.
The point I'm trying to make is Danny Rule, he was the one that said it, that's why the goal stands. Rangers 1, Livy 1.
Well, terrific for Davy Martindale, Big Marv and everyone, and Yenge has taken the goal exceptionally well. I thought that Rangers were over this kind of thing. I thought that Danny Role had started to build a bit of momentum, optimism, and that type of thing wouldn't happen. But they're being caught out by the old long ball.
Again, the long ball, whether you're playing a 3 or a 4, for me is absolutely avoidable. Certainly I've seen it a lot being a goalkeeper, that it's your organisation. When you're in possession, you're still organised, you're understanding where the striker is. So it sounds like another poor goal that Rangers have lost.
I think right in between the two centre-backs, Gordon, is not ideal. You don't need me to explain the numerical advantage there. If both of you are there, it shouldn't really be the case that the striker runs right in between you.
As a manager, you're so disappointed in your two centre-backs. Of course you are. They've got to take responsibility. You can't, at that level, you cannot just get beat with one simple ball over the top. The lad runs on and scores. It's just not acceptable if you're a Rangers player or a professional footballer.
Again, I can remember back to when Fernandes was playing against St Mirren, and it was Fernandes and Suter that day, and it was a long ball over the top that again they just didn't get it right. Communication wasn't right, positional sense wasn't right. They lose a goal.
Manny Fernandes is doing much better in the other box because he's now had another header, this time straight at Jerome Prior, so it remains level. But then this is an incredibly open game. Now another big chance for Livy.
Wow. And
Manny Fernandes busy now, blocking at the other end again from Yenge. The defending looked suspect overall though to begin with. Rangers need to get that control, don't they?
Yeah.
We've said that. Like, even how would you elaborate on even in recent times, you're kind of still Rangers. See, when you don't necessarily get results, you've still got a level of control within games that's just not really been there this season at times.
No, I felt as if they were starting to get there, and the results they were getting, they were having more control in the game. And I've always said that for years gone by, that when you play Rangers, they were always in control of games. And yes, you'll find people will make mistakes and you'll lose goals, but again, I felt as if they were building more of that control, certainly at Ibrox as well. But it seems as if it's a very open game today.
You wouldn't put it by Livy getting another one, would you? This afternoon, the way things are going. I think there'll be a lot of goals in this game, I really do. But I just keep going back to, you cannot get beat with just one long ball over the top.
Dundee forced into a change. Astley has gone off. Turns out he does desert you if he's injured. Murray Samuels, they've just made a mess of it because he's come on. There you go. So you just flip the bad joke.
Yep.
Astley on. Grant Hanley, of course, involved for Scotland. One of the Scotland heroes, booked for a barge on Simon Murray. And that's about all for now. East Kilbride looked like they'd been picking up a bit of momentum, and Spartans had been dropping, so the gap at the top of League 2 had narrowed. However, Edinburgh City are one up at East Kilbride. Innes Lawson with the goal, and another one at Tannadice.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2. It is an own goal by Yevgeny Kucherenko, who punched the ball into his own net. He scored an own goal at Tynecastle just before the break. We'll cut him some slack there because it came off the post and hit him. But I think he also punched another one into his own net earlier this season.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who that was against.
I think this is the second time this guy's punched the ball into his own net this season. I'm sure he's at 3 own goals and we're not even at Christmas.
Because they're not encouraged to catch a ball anymore. It's ridiculous, goalkeepers. I'm sorry.
And listen,
Hibs it was.
Yes, I've watched them a couple of times, and you're right, Daz. And I think this comes from the foreign culture where goalkeepers come over and get taught from a young age not to catch the ball. Not so much in Scotland, Scottish goalkeepers, but I've watched him. He never ever tries to catch the ball, and certainly if he's punching it in his own net a few times more than once, then
that's frowned upon, isn't it? As a goalkeepers union,
major problem there.
Yeah, it's a disaster for goalkeepers. How was your weekend up at Aberdeen?
Oh, it was a disaster as well.
Was it?
Of course, the Masters last week.
I mean, the only saving grace was that Sid didn't score into me. He had 3 chances as well, and we beat them 6-1. So,
did you save the 3 from him?
Yeah,
or did he put any wide?
He was a wee bit raging about that because he says,
tell us about your howler.
Oh, that's absolutely
I've not seen it. I've genuinely seen it.
Stinker. So Charlie's hit a shot. And again, Charlie McGrew, sorry. And we spoke about it before, they hadn't scored in the tournament last game, Rangers v Celtic. And again, we were speaking about, they've no scored. Charlie hits this shot from just outside the box, trickling into me, and I go down, I think I've got it, it's just slid underneath me. But listen, as a lifer goalie, you've got to react well. I had 4 or 5 okay saves after that.
Where did you finish in the tournament?
Third.
Third out of 4.
Oh, but
who won it?
Aberdeen were very good. Lee Miller, by the way, I've
Where's
got
that
to
come from? He'll be listening because he always listens.
Lee was outstanding. He plays the game ever so well. He's obviously still got the quality. But listen, Johnny Hayes could still play at the top level. He was everywhere.
Johnny Hayes?
Oh my God!
I need to see Lee's always given it any time you speak to him. Oh, he's not played in a while.
No. Lee was good, and again, I think just his intelligence. I would say.
Who was the top goal
scorer? I think there's a lot of intelligent players in the tournament.
Lee got player of the tournament. Yeah,
is that right?
I don't know. Did Andy Constantine get top goal scorer?
I'm delighted to interrupt you. Forget about you old timers who can't move anymore.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Motherwell score again. Tawanda Maswanisi scores again. Killy 0, Motherwell 2. Killy couldn't clear a throw in. Loose ball fell to Maswanisi. He fires it high into the net to continue his brilliant season and pile more misery on his former manager, Stuart Kettlewell.
More than misery. I can imagine the reaction of the Kilmarnock supporters. 2 down, facing a 6th successive defeat in the Premiership. The dark clouds are forming.
An 11th of the season in all competitions for Tawanda Maswanisi.
He's in form.
I don't feel, because I know Motherwell, obviously I've had a lot said about them, the style, and it brings debate. I feel like somehow he's maybe not getting the credit for that. He's now the joint top scorer in the league with Lawrence Shankland.
Really?
Yeah, he's a real handful, Gordon. He's settled in brilliantly, especially this season. And he's getting game after game. You know, he was used sometimes as an impact player coming off the bench. But there's nothing better when the manager believes in you. You know that you're playing most weeks. And he's absolutely been brilliant so far.
I like him. I like him as a player. I think he's got real quality. He's got pace. He's got everything that hurts a defence. So, and I think Daz is right. He's getting game time now, week in, week out, and just build momentum, confidence. And listen, you're right. He's not had the credit because, again, it wasn't a player that probably I thought he'd scored as many as he has.
As things stand, Falkirk are third in the table. Think about that one.
Do you know something?
Brilliant, aren't they?
They've been unbelievable. I wrote them off. I thought it'd be a hard season for them. Look, still a lot of football to go, but they've been absolutely incredible.
6 defeats in a row for Kilmarnock, this looks like, though. That is really dangerous territory.
Can we just wait? Because Motherwell surrender a lot of points from winning
I'm
positions.
not saying it's done yet, but what I'm saying is the position that they're in, it's really, really dangerous. I've got a home game to Dundee United next week, so listen, the pressure's really on Stuart Kettlewell. He needs to turn this around.
Remember, I know this is a 2-goal advantage, but at Fir Park, Motherwell battered Kilmarnock, and then a goalkeeping error at the end meant it was a draw. They also battered Falkirk at home and actually lost that match. So,
but I think the difference just now is Kilmarnock are in a real low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you will know for a fact, and Fraser will tell us, that the Kilmarnock fans will be right on the players and the manager's back just now.
I think sometimes things are as grim as they look.
Yeah.
And it is that way at the moment for Kilmarnock.
Kilmarnock have got a lot of players missing. Again, it's not an excuse, but again, Brad Lyons isn't playing today. Yeah. Mayo's out. Matty Kennedy's not played all season, so they've got big players missing. So,
and by the way, this was, although they started quite well, we spoke about this in the summer. Kilmarnock's squad
completely changed.
It's completely changed.
Massively.
So many big players from last season gone, and whoever it was going to come in probably did have a tough job in their hands, but because he started well, it maybe got forgotten about. But the squad's miles off what it was last season.
Oh, absolutely, miles off it. And again, what would reiterate was them injuries. You've got Daniels that came in as well, that's now out for the season. So there's a lot of players that are missing, big players. But
their goalkeeper's been the biggest one.
That's again
100%.
It'll be interesting to see what the goalkeeper situation. I'm not putting any blame on him because I've not seen the goals at all, but interesting to see because, you know, as an opposition, there's a young goalkeeper there. If you lose a couple of goals, he's vulnerable. So I would expect Motherwell to try and take full advantage of this.
Sacked in the morning, sing the Motherwell fans to Stuart Kettlewell.
Yeah, well, it's inevitable. I mean, I know that
the history those two parties have got.
Yeah, I know it's a hard school up here, but this is the way of the world now. I mean, managers, whether it's Scotland, England, or anywhere else, managers lose their jobs in jig time.
Keeper not to blame for either goal today, Cammy.
Yeah. So that's good news, though. I like that.
It's good news. 2-0 down
for the goalkeeper.
Goalie's having a good game.
Hugh, reminders of your teaser, please, and we'll do some wrong answers.
Can you tell me the last 5 Celtic players to have won the PFA or PFA Scotland, I should say, Player of the Year award and the Scottish Football Writers Association award in the same year?
I'm going to really pick on Scott McScott here. Scott, I'm sorry, but I need to make an example of you because Scott's given 5 answers and they all look kind of good on paper, but I think 4 of them are wrong. Edward?
No.
Sinclair?
Nope.
Kyogo?
Nope.
Maeda? Why are they wrong? Because the question says Scottish players.
Yep.
But also, they wouldn't have qualified anyway, I don't think. But
5.
Some of them, they're Scottish.
5 Scottish Celtic
They have
players.
to be Scottish. There we go. Sorry, we'll make it clearer next time. Ricky Smith wants to throw in Jackie McNamara and Paul McStay.
No, too far back in time.
Okay.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Hibs 1, Dundee 0. And is this what the prospect of a World Cup in the summer does to a young Scottish striker? It's Kieran Bowie. It's a great turn and finish. He looks relieved because it's his first goal since mid-September.
Oh, well, every player now, every Scottish player should have an eye on the World Cup, because if you impress, you may just sneak into the squad. We can't make assumptions about anything because we still have 7 months to wait.
He needs a goal. He needed a goal.
Yeah, nine without scoring.
Yeah. As a striker, you need a goal. You can't just say, "Yeah, I'm playing well. My form's good. Link up plays okay." You're a striker, and if you're going to be in contention for a World Cup, start scoring goals.
Yeah, again, it will be a big relief for him because it's been a long period. But again, it's can he kick on from here? He'll want to get more in this game and then just continue on. So, listen, you've got that carrot now that you want to do well between now and the end of the season, not only for your own club but for the country.
A great save by the Kilmarnock keeper, Oluwayemi. This time he had to go high to the right to save Slattery's shot from 10 yards. Motherwell in complete control here, so Killie need to be careful and get to half time as the
tell you what, they're having no problems with the pitch by the sounds of it. You know, a lot of people go down there and moan about the Kilmarnock pitch. Motherwell went down there and basically playing them off the pitch.
But I think with AstroTurf, and you either accept it, and the players are the way Motherwell play.
Did you like AstroTurf?
No, I didn't. But I think what it is it can be consistent. This time of year, it's better than the summer because obviously it's a little bit slicker, a little bit of water on it, and I think it suits Motherwell the way they want to pass the ball and play. It's a decent sized pitch as well, so sounds as if they're absolutely dominating.
Yeah, I suppose on that the kind of general complaints are that, you know, it dries out and whatever, but I think on a day like this, and if you're playing short passes like Motherwell do, it actually can then suit you. I know it's not the best example of an artificial surface. It's very old. It's on its last legs. It's in its last season, we think. But but it's usually when it's dry, or sometimes the way that the kind of longer balls hold up in it, that sort of thing can
and I think you're right. The longer balls where it checks up and it doesn't bounce through and continue its run, so the shorter passes, I think it's consistent at this time of year. You, as I said before, you either accept it or you're against it, and I think Motherwell have probably trained on an Astro this week just to prepare themselves for the game, and sounds as if they're handling it no problem at all.
I don't think the Kilmarnock fans will concentrate on the intricacies of artificial surfaces. They will simply see their team 2 down and on their way to defeat number 6 in a row.
Do you think he's on his way out here?
Well, managers who lose 6 games in a row are under horrendous pressure. But to be fair to Billy Bowie,
I was going to say that
at Kilmarnock, he's not that type of guy.
No.
However, as you know, Cammy, when the crowd start to turn to the director's box and start to give you dog's abuse, you might turn into that kind of guy.
And listen, Kilmarnock have obviously been there in recent years where they've dropped down the division into the Championship, and they've had to react, and Billy won't want that to happen again to his club. He's invested a lot of money, a lot of time and effort in getting the club where they are. I think they're in a brilliant position off the pitch, but they just need to get right on the pitch. So as you say, Hugh, listen, this is a results driven industry, so he needs to turn it around quickly.
By the way, a few moments ago, Livy had what sounds like a pretty strong penalty shout, to be honest. A handball against Manny Fernandez. As always, there's not a lot made of it in the stadium when you've got that little band of fans. It's one of those things I always felt as a Motherwell fan going to Celtic Park or going to Ibrox. There's no noise sometimes when you get a claim of your own. But anyway, there we go.
It is absolute vindication of Stephen Robinson's comments to you yesterday.
Well, listen, there's loads that goes into handball. Maybe Fernandez's arms were just in a natural position, as the ref thought. So that's fine. Doesn't mean to say that it's definitely got it wrong. Martin Boyle, he's just fired wide after a brilliant move. So pretty convincing stuff from Hibs, just the 1-goal advantage.
You would say the only shock so far is probably Ibrox, because I think that when Rangers were going 1-0 up early on through Fernandes, you're thinking this has got to be an easy day for Rangers. They'll get maybe 3 or 4, but all credit to Livy. You fancied Motherwell to beat Kilmarnock, apart from me.
I think Falkirk being 2 up at Tannadice.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, well, okay.
Not winning the game, but being 2-0 up at this point, I think it's a brilliant start for them.
You fancied Tibbs to be beating Dundee, unless you were me.
Best spell from United now. It's the first time they've really threatened, but they'll be devastated at that 2-0 down. Although Jim Goodwin was at Mark Wilson's wedding, maybe he's
I have to compliment
a difficult week.
Jim Goodwin on his old world manners. I introduced him to my wife. I told him my wife's name, and the whole evening he referred to her as Mrs. Keevins. When he spoke to her, he never mentioned her name, Mrs. Keevins. Respectful, old-world manners.
Or couldn't remember.
Yeah. I just sat there and I listened to Mrs. Keevins.
Yeah.
I didn't even open my mouth.
Gordon Dalziel looked terrified of Mrs. Keevins.
Do you know
don't mind me saying?
I turned round and I thought, oh.
So did I. I was absolutely terrified there. I just kept nodding.
That's because she's heard all the stories
about
you.
She had me put in my place, I'll tell you.
Quite right, it's about time. Anyway, no more goals going in at the moment. It's been a lively old return though from the international break. As we said, Rangers 1, Livy 1, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2, Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2, and Hibs 1, Dundee 0. So what more can you ask for? A goal in every game.
You're absolutely correct in what you say, because sometimes it can be like an old car starting up.
That's true.
On a winter's morning.
Slow.
But here we are, goals, speculation, controversy, it's all going on, and we're not at half time yet.
Speaking of winter, what about last night? Ross County coming down to Lesser Hampden, and 15 minutes before kick-off the game is postponed. I don't know if you've seen the BBC Scotland coverage where literally the programme starts and they say good evening and welcome. You won't believe this, the game's off because they'd only just been told like 2 minutes before they went on air. I mean, it's a shocker, isn't it? And if you're a fan, it's just dreadful. I don't know.
I'm very much
no easy way
afraid
of doing it. Sometimes people say you should know earlier and all that, and I get it, but
I'm very much afraid it's on Queen's Park, this one, because you've got to be aware of your pitch. And even if it was
about match officials though?
But, how early do they get there?
About an hour and a half.
Yeah, but and then they would say that it can change. It can get worse, can't it? If rain comes down and then it freezes. It's just never nice.
No, I think we'll lose sight of a common sense element in football sometimes. And again, you've got to look at the opposition, how far they're travelling. There would have been a pitch inspection in the morning. It was probably in doubt in the morning, and then continued throughout the day. There would be a number of pitch inspections, and then that's when I think you've got to look at the weather forecast. You've got to take in consideration of the travel time. Have a bit of common sense. If there's a chance of this game being cancelled, just cancel it.
I don't know about that. No? I think it's a very...
So then you're going to end up in this situation so many times.
Listen, I think it's a very difficult balance, but I think once you do that, you probably end up cancelling loads of games that didn't need to be cancelled, and then you're trying to fit them all in. I think it's tough. I think trying to preemptively cancel games is difficult.
No, what I'm saying is that you know that it takes Ross County potentially 4 hours and their fans to get down, whatever it is, 3.5, 4 hours. But again, so you've got to factor that.
But they would have travelled fine though. Do you know what I mean? So the travel wasn't an issue, it just was the pitch. No, but then you don't want them travelling down and not seeing a game. Of course.
Because that's a waste of money.
I try and make it one of our main aims on here to stick up for fans. I really do. Again though, however, if the pitch is fine at 4 o'clock and it's fine at 5 o'clock,
but was it
fine at 6
o'clock?
Again, totally. That's a good question, right? But I'm saying it is possible that it was fine at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then what do you do if you can't tell the future? But anyway, it was a bit of a sore one for sure, and it meant that no game there. We do have our big card in the Championship today, and the big goal so far, no change yet. I don't think Partick Thistle won up against league leaders St Johnstone. Second place in League 2. East Kilbride have now equalised against Edinburgh City. Connor Young with the goal there as we head towards the interval. Have we got anything? Fata hit the bar for Dundee United. It's about as good as it's gotten for them. Not much to write home about for the aforementioned Jim Goodwin.
No.
Did I hear you banging on in the studio for some, I'm sure it wasn't gambling related reasons, that you thought East Fife would beat Montrose today?
Yeah.
They've equalised, just to let you know.
That's good.
Fife,
but don't worry about it. I thought Dundee United beat Falkirk.
Spartans, top of League 2, by the way. Spartans are 3-0 down at home to Stranraer after 39 minutes. The lower leagues have a bit of madness in them at times. Spartans are starting to tail off quite a bit, so East Kilbride will be looking to capitalise on that today now that they've equalised at home to Edinburgh City. Playing Edinburgh City is difficult though, because the league table position, they're down the bottom, but that's just because of the points deduction.
Very false, yeah.
Yeah, they're still one of the best teams in the league, so
yeah.
A good game up there.
It will be a really good game, yeah.
Anyway, right, Hugh. I think we're a couple of minutes early. Let's go a couple of minutes warning on the teaser if you can.
Tell me the last 5 Scottish players from Celtic to have won the Player of the Year award and the Scottish Football Writers Association Player of the Year award in the same year.
Scottish, remember, there's a few falling for it. I'm seeing loads of Maedas and Kyogos in here, but some of you are certainly getting
5 Scots.
Oh no, honestly, we should have. Did we put it in capital letters? Can you say it again? Just say that word that begins with S.
5 Scottish players from Celtic.
Because someone's gone Thomas Gravison, Arthur Boric, Henrik Larsson. It's really not cut through in the way that I would hope. So now that he's given you a final warning, let's try and get some more
5 players
answers.
from the country going to the World Cup finals for the first time in 28 years.
Who, Norway?
No.
Did you notice, is it Norway and Austria, I think? Both same, 1998.
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw that. And then of course you've got your Haiti, Curacao. They're going for the first time. And the Curacao manager is?
Oh, I know who that is, but can't remember.
Oh, so you don't then?
No.
Dick Advocaat.
That's who it is.
78 years of age.
Did he miss a game? He had to come home.
He missed the game.
78.
Dick Advocaat.
Wow.
Yeah, makes Hugh Keevins look like a young man.
Yeah.
Dick Advocaat's 78? No.
Okay then, if you say yes.
No.
Incredible.
You'll now. I was going to say you'll now pass that on as your own information, but you won't remember it.
Nah, true.
Get a bone to pick for you actually on that. I don't usually listen to you on open goal, because once a week's enough for me. And you right in here, I just think
What did
In
they
fact,
do
twice
now?
a week you're in here, so there ain't no chance I'm listening to you in another podcast. Right,
Okay.
no offence. But I was absorbing anything Scotland related this week. I would have listened to absolutely the lot. So I turned it on and I heard you with all the. But you didn't quite have the confidence to deliver it, what I told you the other night. And did John McGinn and Kieran Tierney, did they not make their debuts against Denmark?
Amazing.
I did. I stole
But
that one.
it went silent and nobody backed you up.
I
And so
know.
you didn't commit to it.
I know.
I'll
Then
look
I was a
after
bit
you.
frightened.
I'll look after you, don't you worry. Rangers fans getting a bit frustrated. Livy
Oh.
corner, it is gathered by Butland, but they failed to clear it a couple of times and not too impressed with what they're seeing. Moans and groans now.
Yeah, and that'll be happening because again it's reverted back to a performance that hasn't been consistent in this first half, convincing. And I think there will be moans and groans at half time if it ends up 1 each.
Right, Hugh, that's it. I've seen enough. We've given them enough time. Let's finish. Go.
The first half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
The last 5 Scottish players, all from Celtic, to have won the Player of the Year award and the Scottish Football Writers Association Player of the Year award in the same year are James Forrest, Scott Brown, Lee Griffiths, Chris Commons and Charlie Mulgrew.
Well done if you got it right, and lots of you did, and loads of people were close. Scott McScott saved himself once he realised he still had enough time to go back, take out all those foreign players, replace them with Scotsmen and get it right. So he was in third place, Michael Smith in second, and the winner, the man with just one name, Kieran. Well done to you, Kieran. You're the winner of the first half teaser. We'll have a Who Am I a bit later on. We are into time added on at the end of the first half's 2 at Kilmarnock. For starters, what a difference it would make if they could snatch something and put a different complexion on things heading into the break. But they are 2-0 down at home to Motherwell as things stand.
There will be booing at Tannadice, there will be booing at Rugby Park and booing at Ibrox if the score lines are the same at half time.
I wouldn't argue with you on that as much as I would love to. I think you could be bang on. Half time in the Championship are Broth 0, Wraith Rovers 0. Still Paul Hanlon in charge of Wraith.
Yeah.
A really poor opening game, didn't he, with the 3-0
against
Airdrie. So looking a bit harder to beat. Some of your other former teams. Former director of football at Airdrie 0. Ayr United 1.
Yeah, Airdrie's picked up a little bit. They were unlucky to, drop points against March Partick Thistle. The goalkeeper having a little bit of a blunder there. Then they got up to Starts Park and won 3-0, and you're thinking, right, okay, they've got a home game this afternoon, but Mull Club Ayr on top just now. Still a long way to go, but
as is the modern VAR way. That's us just starting 4 added at Ibrox and 4 at Easter Road, so still got a bit of work to be done, which is also an incentive, surely, if you're Rangers or you're Kilmarnock, you've looked at, or even indeed Livy, you've looked at Scotland during the week. Anything's possible.
Oh yeah.
How many times do you think we continuously mention it in relation to something that it's got nothing to do with? But it is true, you forget how late Tierney's goal was.
I think if you've waited 28 years for something,
great point,
and it then lands on your plate in spectacular fashion, you can go on about it for as long as you like.
I love this from you, because you are the person I feared would try and nip it in the bud early.
No.
So if you're giving me the thumbs up, bring it on. I've got a few more months left in me. Half time Rugby Park, Fraser Wishart.
Yeah, half time Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2. Hugh was spot on. Boos here, quite loud. A few fans around me getting quite animated beyond the usual, because it's been an excellent performance so far for Motherwell. As expected, dominated possession, but they played at a tempo Kilmarnock just couldn't cope with. They couldn't get near Fadinger, Watts, Slattery in midfield. They moved the ball around well, passed it around them. A double by Tawanda. Massawaris has given the visitors a deserved lead, and it could have been worse for Kilmarnock. Motherwell took charge from the start, but it's actually Kelly who had the best chances in the early stages. 10th minute, almost got the opener. Greg Kilty, really good touch, made space for himself, low left foot shot back across Callum Ward. It was actually a good save of the goalkeeper. It was quite close to him, low down, and he managed to get a strong hand to it, and the ball was clear. Then Scott Tiffany did well on the left, really good run, little driven cross, but no takers. And from then on it was all Motherwell. 17th minute they did score the opening goal. Emmanuel Longell has been excellent throughout this first half. Good run on the left hand side, really good cross to back post. Dominic Thompson should have got a better header on the ball. He tried to flick it away, he only got a slight touch, mistake by the defender Tawanda Maswanisi. Really good control, because I don't think he was expecting it to come to him. Quick shot away with the toe poke low into the back of the net, and Motherwell just continued to dominate possession and scored their second. 26 minutes. Kilmarnock defence looking a bit jittery, hoofed the ball out for a throw in. Longella threw the ball into the box, couldn't clear it, and Maswanisi was first to react to fly high into the net from 8 yards. At this point the Kelly fans really unhappy with the manager, the players, the ref, and it could have got worse in the 31st minute. Longella again on the overlap, low cross, Slattery arriving late, good contact outside of his right foot from 10 yards, good save by Oluwayemi high to his right hand side to push the ball away. The 43rd minute, Kilmarnock, who hadn't been near the Motherwell goal for quite some time, had a half chance. David Watson drove forward and fired just over from 20 yards. Not much for the Kelly fans to cheer here. They're looking at their 6th defeat in a row, and I wouldn't be surprised if Stuart Kettlewell makes a couple of changes at the break, because it's very, very comfortable for Motherwell. Half time here, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2.
So far so good for the Steelmen, not going well for Killie. It's half time between Dundee United and Falkirk, and the visitors lead 2-0 there. But remember, Roger Hannah has had some travel issues, and he's hearing it's a good game, just like you are, because he's not there unfortunately. So we'll
Dundee United are as good as his car.
We'll let him away with it. I think that's the only half time so far, is it? Yeah, we're just waiting on David Friel, and it'll be interesting to hear the reaction from Ibrox, because they scored early, and usually that's just what you're looking for to set you on your way. But Rangers really not been convincing at all during this half. Livy have equalised and had a decent penalty shout as well. So, and yeah, here we go. Here's Ibrox and Andrew McLean.
Rangers 1, Livingston 1, the half-time score. A few boos from Rangers supporters as the team make their way down the tunnel. It's a game Rangers have never really been in control of. They've had some shaky moments at the back, and it's leading to some real frustration in the stands. That's all despite a quick start from Danny Rill's side. We said before the game Emmanuel Fernandez had the chance to come in and make an impact. He did so after just 8 minutes, rising way higher than anyone else from a corner and powering a header past Jerome Prieur for 1-0. You thought at that point Rangers might go on and get a few more, but they do look suspect at the back, and Livingston managed to capitalise on that, and it was just one long ball over the top. It caught out Nasser Jiga and Emmanuel Fernandez. Tete Yengi took a brilliant touchdown and then poked the ball past Jack Butland for the equaliser. Emmanuel Fernandez was kind of involved in most things at both ends. Really, he had another headed effort that went straight at Jerome Prieur, this time from a wide James Tavernier free kick. Then seconds later, Rangers allowed Livingston to get the ball into the box from the left. It dropped to Tete Yengi. Fernandez was there to block it. Suggestions it could have come off of Fernandez's arm. I think David Martindale was claiming for it in the Livingston dugout, but nothing was given by referee Ross Hardy, and no VAR interference either. Rangers with some real work to do if they want to add to their 3 league wins in a row under Danny Rule. Livingston, they'll have some real confidence that they can come away from this game with something after what we've seen in that first half. The half-time score at Ibrox is Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
And it's also half-time, last but not least, Hibs Dundee, watched by David Friel.
Yeah, it's half time. Gordon, Hibs 1, Dundee 0. Kieran Bowie's a happy man. He's a relieved man after finally getting back on the goal trail for Hibs. He'd gone 9 games, over 2 months without scoring, and he also missed 2 sitters early on here, but Bowie kept going and he finally ended his barn run. A brilliant opener as he started that long battle for a place in the Scotland World Cup squad. It's a deserved lead for Hibs. Have been excellent. Dundee have been terrible. Hibs come out the traps quickly, should have been ahead within minutes. Nicky Cadden's deep cross found Martin Boyle. He cushioned a volley back to Bowie. He was only 6 yards out. He had to score, but he made a mess of his shot, and the chance was lost. Dundee struggled to get up the pitch. Hibs were knocking the ball about really, really well. Bowie, Boyle, Josh Mulligan, they've all been outstanding, and they were involved as Jamie McGrath broke through, but his low shot lacked any power. Hibs' next chance was even better. The outstanding Mulligan, he's been so good, clipped across to the back post where Bowie was unmarked. All he had to do was head it into the net, probably from about 3 yards, but he somehow put it over the bar. But Hibs kept coming, as I said. Mulligan had a shot saved, and then a goal. It just seemed inevitable, and it finally arrived for Bowie on the half-hour mark. He took a nice touch from Nicky Cadden's cross. He turned and he buried his low shot under John McCracken. You can see the relief in his face. I think Stephen Presley will also be relieved that Hibs are only 1-0 up. Dundee haven't offered anything in attack at all. They haven't had a single attempt on goal. David Gray's side have been all over them. They've been excellent, and you would fancy them to finish this game off after the break. Half time, Hibs 1, Dundee 0.
And we will do a full roundup of the half-time scores when we return.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time still ongoing at various venues. With that in mind, let's go back to Ibrox, the big one in Glasgow today. Partick Thistle fans might have other ideas, but Rangers being held, I should say, by Livy at the moment, Andrew McLean, and it's not been great, has it?
No, it's been a really lacklustre display in this first half from Rangers. I couldn't really count the number of times that they've just needlessly given away possession, and then when they have done, you're not overly convinced that they're going to defend the situations well. Nasser Giga and Emmanuel Fernandez not looking comfortable together, playing at the back, and they'll need to get used to it because John Souttar is out for an extended period of time. Derek Cornelius is expected to be out for even longer than him, so the two of them potentially are going to be Rangers centre-back pairing or part of a back three. Maybe Clinton Nsiala might come into that. I can see him out warming up at the moment. Doesn't look as if he is ready to come on or anything, but he will be an option that Danny Rule can look at. But then you look at the other end for Rangers as well. It's not really clicked in an attacking sense. Chedi Gassama showing his usual endeavour. He's got past his fullback a couple of times, but no one else is really contributing. Danilo has been really quiet, hardly involved. Antman and Asgard pretty quiet as well. You've got to say, the fact that they've not really had any control in that game, maybe question marks over Raskin and Diamande as well. They are two of the culprits, really, when Rangers haven't been able to keep possession and try to overrun Livingston in the middle of the park. But one incident that did happen when the scores were 1-1, there was a penalty shout. David Martindale was certainly claiming for it, had both arms up in the technical area. The ball, it bounced across from the left. It was a shot from Tete Yengi. I've seen it back. It definitely comes off the arm of Emmanuel Fernandez. It looks as if it's going goalwards. Obviously it'll be looked at in terms of close proximity and if his arm is in a natural position. But I think there's maybe a case that Rangers have gotten away with one there. It definitely comes off the arm of Emmanuel Fernandez. I think Livingston will feel really hard done by that wasn't given.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, that, because the main VAR moaners this season have obviously been Rangers with their statements, and I think Stephen Robinson, as we saw, St Mirren, but close behind Davy Martindale. He's been pretty unhappy, so I think he'll probably have something to say about this. The only one that it reminds me of, because obviously the VAR review stirs a lot of this stuff up. If you go back to the first VAR review of the season, Alloa got a penalty against Rangers in the Cup for something, let's call it similar. I'll never say it's the same. For something similar. Now, the penalty was given, but I remember Willie Collum on that VAR review saying they wanted to be a bit more lenient when a player's doing a sort of running motion, if you like, so the hand is still kind of down where it would be if you were running. Maybe that's what's let Manny Fernandez off, maybe that in proximity, because I think a lot of people will think this should be a penalty. Cammy?
Yeah, certainly it does look like a penalty when you see it back, the images of it. So again, I think Rangers have got away with one. I can understand what you're saying in the movement, or when you're running, you're making a motion, your arm's not going to be by your side naturally, it's going to be out. But I just feel as if it's a little bit too far away from him, and the ball's going towards goalward. So I think they've definitely got away with one.
Yeah, like I say, go and check. You can watch that Alloa one back and see if they're similar. I don't know. Let's get the second half's underway.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
One change at the break for Rangers. Telo Asgard has not had a good game. He's gone off and been replaced by Bojan Mijovski.
Well, Mijovski, not the player he was at Aberdeen, much to the regret of the Rangers supporters, but he still has that Predators instinct, and Rangers could do with a goal just to take the heat out of the occasion, because the supporters came expecting better than they've seen.
I'm not surprised that he's made a change at half time. Asgard, for me, has not really hit the ground running. Everybody was talking about the lad's ability, everything about him, but I've not seen a lot of it so far. Majovski, this could be a big afternoon for him, because he's the same. He came in, everybody thought it was a terrific signing because he knows the league, he'd played with Aberdeen, we knew what a threat he was at Aberdeen. I don't think Rangers played to his style of football, so this could be a big afternoon for him.
Asgard did get the last 15 minutes as Norway sensationally beat Italy 4-1 last Sunday. They sealed their return to the World Cup, didn't they, since 1998, the same way we did. Maybe this is where I was a bit jealous. It could be a scheduling thing, because they had a few more extra days. It could be something like that, but Norway had the full town square and all that, and the players out greeting everyone. We didn't get it. Oh, this could change things.
Flashes.
Oh, forgive me, I've pressed the wrong button. That's never good. We do have a goal though. Let's do it.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Kilmarnock straight back in it after the break. Killie 1, Motherwell 2. It will be checked for offside. It was close according to Fraser Wishart, but if we assume it stands for now, what a game changer that could be. It's the perfect time to score. If you're 2-0 down at the break, you might as well come out and start fast.
Yeah, if ever a team needed a goal, it was Kilmarnock. They have to hope it is a legitimate goal, but you banged on all day, Gordon, about Motherwell from a winning position.
Yeah, goal given.
Who scored?
Scott Tiffany.
Well,
yeah, again, what a response from Kilmarnock. Exactly what they wanted was that team talk from Stuart Kettlewell that he delivered, which I'm pretty sure was unhappy with the first half showing. Responded really, really well, and they've given us a huge opportunity to get back in this game.
Yeah, great timing, as you said. As a manager, he's probably been in there, had a few angry words with one or two of them, and they've come out and they've responded. So they're back in the game. I still fancy Motherwell to win. Yeah.
Next goal's the important one.
I think it's interesting because Motherwell, we know they've been in this leading position before, and again, does that play a factor in the players' heads that the memories are there?
Yeah, but I think they'll take a lot of heart from the first half performance, going in 2-0, playing very well on the AstroTurf. It's a bit of a blow. It's given Kilmarnock a great bit of confidence to go and try and get the equaliser, but I just feel Motherwell will have enough.
You know, you can't go on and on about Kilmarnock's goalkeeping situation. Outfield players have to take part of the blame for 5 defeats in a row. So they've responded. Scott Tiffany has responded better than anyone else, and now it's an intriguing afternoon.
Yeah, very much so. And again, you're right, Hugh. Listen, it's not just the goalkeepers that concede goals. It's the defence. It's you defend from the top of the pitch as well, and as a unit. So I think there's been a lot of disappointing performances this season from Kilmarnock. They've dropped points when they shouldn't have, and they've now got a chance and an opportunity to get something out of this game, whereas the first half it looked like it was far, far away from them getting anything from the game.
And it gives the supporters a bit of encouragement as well, because if that goes 5, 10, 15 minutes, the noises again from the Kilmarnock supporters wouldn't be too good, but that's given them a bit of encouragement.
So that's the first goal of the second periods. It was Scott Tiffany 4 minutes after the restart. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 2. As we said, Motherwell do surrender leads relatively often this season. Bojan Miovski, we said, came on for Rangers at the break, and he went close very early on. He could be doing with a goal, couldn't he?
Yeah, when you come in with a decent price tag and a good reputation, everybody thought he'd just slot in there as the centre forward. He would bang in goals left, right and centre, because we've seen what he achieved at Aberdeen. He was a very, very good player at Aberdeen. I just think it was different styles. I don't think Rangers really play to his strength. So as I said, coming on against a team that's sitting bottom of the league at home, when you need a couple of goals, it could be a big, big afternoon for him.
If Thistle hold on to this 2-goal lead, we all go to Mark's house for more wedding cake.
I don't think there'll be any wedding cake left.
Didn't even have a wedding cake.
Did he not? Tell you what, the food was good.
Yeah,
it was wonderful.
Yeah, I'll give him credit for that. Still be paying it up.
Anyway, enough about that. We get any other goals to tell us about yet? No, I don't think so. I could see Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Did Andy Robertson start, by the way?
No, he didn't.
No, because
he
didn't train yesterday due to personal reasons. Is that what we're calling a hangover these days? Surely.
And Bournemouth, they're losing as well, so those who played midweek are not doing well.
Yeah, I liked footage of the Scottish lads walking down Glasgow city centre, going for a roll, dressed up to the 90s, let me say.
Amazing.
They actually go for breakfast, very smart indeed. But they deserve every bit of it.
David Friel, actually, I've got a confession to make to him. He sent me a picture of a couple of the guys at their party, whatever they did after, posing in a pub, and he said, I didn't realise you got an invite to their party. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm zooming in, and I'm going, I've got no idea what he's on about. How am I? I'm like that. Like, what's he on about? And there was a guy in the middle, and I'm thinking, is he trying to say that looks like me? And I'm zooming in. So I just hit the laughing face, as you do. And about 10 minutes later, I realised it's because I'm on the TV in the corner.
Right.
It must be the next morning when they went back out again, or whatever it was they did. They'll have given it a good go, won't they? Some of them.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to. Absolutely.
Forgivable.
Oh, definite. And again, it's good to see, like, listen, these guys have been under huge pressure and they've delivered, so why not go and enjoy the moment? And yeah, listen, you've got to be delighted for them.
Yeah, brilliant. Celebrations were great as well. So I think we would fairly say that they enjoyed themselves, and rightly so. They deserve it.
Well, if you give the whole country reason to go on the lash, then you might as well join in.
Yeah, I'd have been right out there, be a freebie. Oh, I'd have been cashing in sponsorship and everything.
Yeah.
Right, no more goals to tell you about yet. Hamilton Accies 2, Kelty 1. Ollie Shaw is flying in League 1. Really turbulent time for the Accies, of course. Birmingham 4, Norwich 1. See that new stadium Birmingham are thinking about building?
Seen the
pictures.
nice?
You're into your property. You having that piece of architectural wonder?
Listen, it was a bit strange. I know it was getting mocked as well. Was it Aston Villa that were having a wee go at? So it's strange. It's got sort of, how would you just describe it, Gordon? In
floodlights.
It's like chimneys, isn't it? Is it
chimneys in the corners, isn't it? Yeah.
Kilmarnock nearly 2-2, and the Killie fans are now up for it. McGinn, he cleared Thompson's shot off the line, and it was going in. Killie fans are now loving it. David Watson's tried a McTominay from 16 yards. Not always easy to pull those off, though, is it?
But the mood has changed entirely, and that's all to the good for Stuart Kettlewell and the players.
Yeah, I think again you've got that early goal. You've changed the mood of the fans. The whole stadium sounds as if it's completely different from getting booed off in that first half. And again, it must have been.
Do you fancy them to come back into this? I know they are slightly back into it, but do you think they're good?
Do you know why I do? Is because I think Motherwell have had this experience, and I think it will play a part in they're thinking that they were on top so much in that first half, and now they've had that little wobble. They'll need to weather the storm and find their way back into it, or Kilmarnock might sneak it, get another goal, and then certainly if they get the next goal, Kilmarnock, you've got to fancy them to go on and win the game.
Kenny McLean's doing well. They're only 4-1 down now at Norwich.
There's a red card check for a Brian Graham elbow.
Ooh.
So we'll need to keep an eye on that. Dundee are playing a bit better in this half. They're 1-0 down. Hugh Keevins is about to give you the teaser. I've made some last minute adjustments to that, Hugh. I think it was too easy. Can you decipher my scribbles?
I can indeed.
Let's do it then. Let's get this second half teaser up and running.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
In my career, I have played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn and Barry Robson. I have won the English Football League Championship and the Scottish League Cup. I have been managed by Jim Weir and Daniel Farker. Who am I? In my career, I played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn and Barry Robson. I won the English Football League Championship and the Scottish League Cup. And I was managed by Jim Weir and Daniel Farker.
Okay, let's give you some thinking time. Get the thinking caps on, and don't take too long though. It's at Clyde SSB. We need you to come up with the answers to that and send, or the answer I should say, and send it over. Nice and easy. It's just one name, and if you want to just give it a guess, even if you're not sure, why not? Throw it out there and see if you get it right. Imagine the glory if you manage to chuck one in nice and early and you get it right. Let's see what you've got. Gordon Dale's got a confused look on his face.
No, Cammy does this every single week, right? He sits there like he knows the answer, and I'm sitting looking at him,
and do you know
he's absolutely no chance.
Do you know the answer?
Not yet, but
okay.
No,
okay.
I've put the jigsaw together.
All right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not. It's actually not too difficult.
Is it not?
Nah, I don't think so. But it was even easier, so I thought I'd scribble a couple of those names out and just test you out there because you're so good. Referee's gone to the monitor and he's still looking at Brian Graham's potential elbow. So it would need to be a straight red. That's the only reason you would go and look at the monitor. So we'll have a look. He's clearly taking his time.
But that's a worrying sign.
Could be a big turning point up at
yellow.
Saturday.
It is just a yellow for Brian Graham. So there you go, he stays on for now. Nico Raskin in particular seems to be getting it in the neck from the crowd for some backward passes. Cammy, we said this once the Russell Martin issue, because there was no doubt what side the fans were on. So once Russell Martin left, we did say that the onus is then on Nico Raskin to show that, you know, he can put in some big performances.
Yeah, again, I don't think he's certainly lived up to what we'd expect of a Belgian internationalist and the qualities that he's got. He's not hit that form yet this season. Again, the frustration playing backwards, we've seen it for so long under Russell Martin, and it'll just be them memories of the start of the season where everything was slow and a bit laboured, and it sounds like it's been one of them performances so far in the game. But they're going to have to find a way to win. That's what this is all about. It's such an important game that Rangers get 3 points from this game at home against Livingston, or they're back to sort of, I wouldn't say back to square one, but there's certainly a lot of negativity that'll follow this.
Well, it's a psychological impetus, isn't it, Cammy? Yeah. I mean, you go 2 points behind Celtic with a win, Celtic away to St Mirren the day after that AGM, and who knows what could happen there. So this is unexpected, I would say. I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing the team who are bottom of the league. You're at home, you have a squad that's much better than theirs, and you're not displaying that fact.
Because we're probably not there yet, Cammy, where Rangers are not only expected to win but win in style. I think the fans know right where they're at. Having said that, you're probably, if you're going to try and get a bit of a dominant style going and a bit more of a conviction in your wins, and you know, again, as Hugh says, a home game against Livy would be a good chance to do that.
Absolutely, and again, we spoke about before, it's controlling the game, being in control of the game. It sounds as if they've lost control of this game. Certainly in the first half, it looked as if Livingston had a lot of opportunities, were getting up the pitch pretty easily. And again, you've got to reflect back on that goal, Livingston goal. It's a single ball over the top of the pit, over the top, and again, it's a poor piece of defending from the Rangers centre half. So yeah, it's disappointing in ways.
No other goals to tell you about at the moment. Stirling Albion have taken the lead against Elgin City in League 2 thanks to Russell McLean, if that's your thing. Going to make it less obvious what teams you've responsibly gambled on today. Since when did you slap your thigh at Elgin City going behind? Is that a problem for you?
Go on yourself, Stirling Albion.
You've always liked the Beatles, haven't you? Yeah. Right, anyway, let's keep an eye out and make sure we don't get any other drama to tell you about whilst the scores start to come in. We've got that second half teaser up and running for you as well. Let's see if you can come up with the old Who Am I and see what drama we get. We've already said there we had a wee VAR check for Brian Graham, but he stays on the pitch. No red card. It was checked for an elbow. We've got a goal. Where is it this time though?
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's at Easter Road, Hibs 2, Dundee 0, and it's McGrath's shot, bottom corner, Bowie with the layoff, and that might be that. Hugh Keevins, would you concede that it would be a long way back for Dundee at this stage?
There is no way back, long, short or otherwise. 2 down, having a poor season, Dundee, and Hibs 2 up at home, an hour in. No way back for Dundee.
No, game over for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was actually signalling his intentions as well. Just a moment or two before, he actually hit a nice curler off the crossbar as well, Jamie McGrath. So
I was surprised by one of the stats that David Friel brought us, that in the last 5 home games Hibs have only won once. That's unconvincing form, but 2 up, playing a struggling Dundee who will either be relegated automatically or in the playoff.
Oh, he's going for it now, isn't he?
Yeah.
All his week-long positivity about Scotland has just paved the way for the baseball bat to come out this afternoon.
I've gone from surrealism to realism.
Imagine Dundee. You think Dundee go down having drawn at Ibrox and beaten Celtic in the same season?
I think they either go down automatically or they're in the playoff.
Who did you pick at the beginning of the season, just out of curiosity?
Can't remember.
We'll get back to that.
I think, listen, you've got to worry for Dundee, because I don't think they can put any consistency together. They can maybe get them one-off wins, but again, it just feels as if, certainly listening to the half-time report, Dundee offered absolutely nothing going forward in the first half, so it's definitely game over for me at Easter Road.
Agree with that, Gordon Dalziel?
Yeah, brave prediction from Cammy, but I'm going to go with him there. I think everybody fancied a home win anyway. Hibs sitting there proudly up in 3rd place, and another 3 points in the bag, and Bowie getting a goal today was a big plus for him.
It can be done though. I think I remember one of my weirdly favourite seasons following Motherwell when I was young. They beat Celtic at home, they beat Rangers at home, and they beat Hearts 6-1 the night before my birthday. And as a young kid, I thought this is amazing. And they finished bottom. And they beat Livy 6-2 in the final day of the season. And I think they still finished bottom. Oh, here's our big goal.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Well, he stayed on the pitch, he wasn't sent off, and now he's scored. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 3. Wow. When Roger Hanna and Andy Halliday picked their result of the weekend on Monday night. I've got a funny feeling that one could feature.
Well, that's a sensational result. Not result, but scoreline. Soon to be result. And deeply embarrassing for all concerned at Dundee United. They should not be going down by that margin at home.
Yeah, again, it's a brilliant result so far for Falkirk. A goal that's really significant, because I think that the game's dead now. But you've seen it.
A brave decision.
Listen, but you've seen it this season from Dundee United. Kilmarnock went up there, and one of their 2 wins of this season was against Dundee United at Tannadice. So they've not had the best of times at home this season.
I'm very surprised, because I watched most of their game against Hearts at Tynecastle and the 1-1 draw, and I thought they looked really good. I thought, okay, they've got Falkirk. I've written Falkirk off all the time. I'm getting a bit of criticism from 1 or 2 Falkirk supporters, but I'll tell you what, I'll hold my hands up. Brilliant result. Brilliant.
Well, they've gone to Aberdeen and won. I know Aberdeen down to 10 men. They went to Fir Park and won. They're now going to go to Tannadice and win. They've had good home results as well. So yeah. We're not 3 games in. You know, we've played a full round of fixtures. They're absolutely flying. They're doing really well. Triple change from Motherwell. Stamatolopoulos, Gordon and Just come on. Hendry, Longello and Side off. There is a VAR check for a Motherwell penalty. It's a Robbie Dees. He's having a bit of a tough time in recent weeks for a challenge on Stamatolopoulos. Has just come on. Referee is going to the screen. Ooh. So Stamatolopoulos has just come on. He's potentially been fouled, and he'll probably take the kick as well. Wonder if he's actually touched the ball yet. Does that worry you?
What?
If you're not touched the ball, would you still take a penalty?
Oh yeah.
No bothered?
No, because you're just on the pitch, take a penalty kick, all of a sudden your afternoon's over.
He's not touched the ball yet, so
you've scored your goal.
He's fouled without touching the ball. So would you take it with your first touch?
I would 100% take it. The only thing I wanted to do
a couple of keepy uppies before you get to the spot.
See, if I scored a goal early, I didn't really bother about the rest of the game.
But you've
done your job.
You've done my job.
Inherently selfish, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I'm not denying
as a
that.
human.
Yeah, 100%.
So.
In every walk of life.
Anyway, Dundee United fans are starting to leave. They're 3-0 down. Nadeem Bajrami, could have thought maybe his Rangers career was petering out, but he comes on for Oliver Antman, and a penalty given for Motherwell. Is Stamatolopoulos going to take it with his first touch? And he is. How's your nerve?
Wow. If he's a penalty taker, you've just got to step up. You practice it all the time. So
it's on the ball.
What an opportunity.
Yeah, he scored his last couple. I don't know. I'm not as sure as you are, Gordon Dalziel.
Oh, and plus the fact Kilmarnock's goalkeeping situation.
Up he steps.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
First touch, no problem. Stamatolopoulos fires home the penalty to reinstate Motherwell's 2-goal advantage. The goalkeeper goes the wrong way, and it's Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3.
Bad blow, Stuart Kettlewell. We thought we were back in the game with the Tiffany goal right after the half-time break, but
game over here.
Yeah, that's good. Game over look about it.
Even Motherwell won't chuck it from here. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Yeah. I would actually say Motherwell probably score another one, because Kilmarnock will throw everything at them now.
Still time though, isn't there? So still about 25 to go. If Killie can score one at any stage before Motherwell do,
it's a major blow though.
It serves up a nervy finish.
No, it certainly does. It's a big blow though, especially it sounded that even after the Kilmarnock goal, as if they were getting opportunities, getting further up the pitch, and then they go away and give a penalty away, and he's stuck it in the back of the net. So they're in a difficult position now, because I agree with Daz, they'll probably start to throw everything at it, and it'll leave gaps.
Yeah.
That's, I think, Dundee's first attempt in the game. 66 minutes at Easter Road, so it's going to take more than that to get something. They're 2-0 down, and going to leave with a bit of a whimper by the looks of things.
Bad news at Tannadice when the crowd start to leave this early in the game. No belief. I know it's 3 down, but early cut.
Yeah, Falkirk fans are singing So Easy And that's never a good
By
sign,
the
is
way,
it?
to be fair, it sounds like it is.
Yeah.
You know, brilliant result for them. I'm delighted for them. Delighted.
Somebody who had Dundee United on their coupon as well.
Yeah,
I
did,
told
yeah.
you, gamble responsibly. You see,
Yeah.
when I always say that, right, I'm kind of like duty bound to remind people to gamble responsibly. Yours should just be, just don't bother.
I'm never doing it again.
But you see that every Saturday. You're hopeless. You're even worse than him, I think.
You're
And by him, I mean
bad,
Hugh
aren't
Keevins.
Yeah.
No, but he's come up with a revolutionary scheme.
Oh, what now?
He thinks that if you get everything wrong, the bookies should pay you out.
I agree with that. I think
like
that's the way
like
forward.
a wooden spoon
Yeah.
type award.
Yeah. I'm going to start my own betting company.
Alright.
Bet
But
responsibly.
then here's what you'll do. You'll then try and get them all wrong, but
And
you'll
then I'll
get
get
one
them
right,
right.
so it's not going to work.
Yeah. I think I've got the full-time teaser, by the way.
Yeah,
But we'll decide.
Well,
Write it down.
let me repeat it then.
Yeah, go on.
Go, because the one that was killing me was
Don't.
right. Okay.
In my career, I have played alongside Paul McGowan, John McGinn, and Stephen Thompson. I've won the English Football League Championship twice.
No. You've read the wrong set of clues there.
Oh.
There you go. Don't you worry about that. You're throwing out rogue shouts. There you go. I've
In my
given you the
career,
right
I have played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn, and Barry Robson. I've won the English Football League Championship and the Scottish League Cup, and I have been managed by Jim Weir and Daniel Farker. Let me go over that again. Played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn, and Barry Robson. Won the EFL Championship and the Scottish League Cup, and was managed by Jim Weir and Daniel Farker.
And I can tell you, Gordon Dalziel does indeed
There
have
you
it.
are. What a week
happy
you're having.
with that? Let's do some wrong answers for the listeners, though, Hugh, and help point them in the correct direction. Bryzo thinks it could be Alex Neil.
Oh, no.
Mama C thinks it's Ollie McBurnley.
Not a chance.
Jamie Dock wants to throw in a Grant Hanley.
No.
Okay, we'll do some more wrong answers in a second, so keep your guesses coming in if you can. Double change now for Kelly as they try and mix things up. 3-1 down. Bruce Anderson, Greg Kilty off. On come Watkins and John Jules. Just a bit of a change in attack there. Mayo's now hit the bar from 16 yards, so there's still life left in Kelly yet. It was a fierce shot, but just not quite low enough.
Well, hope springs eternal, but if Motherwell lose now at 3-1 up, then you people in North Lanarkshire should all have a good look at
I am
yourselves.
totally confident of the 3 points coming up to 74. 77?
We need to go 77 first. wouldn't you?
74, yeah.
I don't know why
77.
you do this. You're obsessed with roads. Right, is there going to be late drama and real disappointment for Partick Thistle, because St Johnstone have pulled one back. It's Partick Thistle 2, St Johnstone 1. Remember, this is second against first. Thistle 2-0 up at the break. And Mark Wilson, is that not, he's a relation of Mark Wilson's as well, is it not? Josh
Who?
McPake.
Is he?
I'm sure he is. He's mentioned that before on here. Josh McPake scores. Been arguably the best player in the championship this season to make it Thistle 2, St Johnstone 1 with 20 to go.
Yeah, still a lot of football to be played in that. Wonder what the crowd, big crowd there today, would they not?
You would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's got a brilliant 25 minutes or so left in that game. I think there probably is life left in it. It'll be nervy finish for the Partick Thistle supporters.
I would take them to lose a 2-goal lead. I really would. It'd ruin my Saturday night.
I think there's always been a feeling as well, though, that clearly St Johnstone do have the bigger squad and the deeper squad, and Thistle have been doing brilliant. It's not to sound patronising, but they're working with a whole different set of resources there. So later in the game, you wonder if there's more scope for St Johnstone to make a difference.
Listen, at the beginning of the season, I was speaking to him quite a lot before he started, obviously winning games, manager of the month, and then he doesn't talk to you. And he was a bit concerned about the size of the squad and the ages as well. He didn't have a lot of
couple
experience.
of injuries as well.
Yeah, he did, but so far he's going absolutely brilliant.
Right, a couple of big chances at Ibrox. So first of all, huge chance from Rangers. They then do everything right on a counter-attack, get it to Gassama. You know the way it works. He cuts in and then misses the target this time. But then a huge chance for Livy. Butland really stepping up, because Tavernier was robbed 25 yards out, and then Yengi hit the shot and it was stopped by the sliding Jack Butland. So a bit of a let-off there for Rangers. Quite incredible that a day that most people thought was going to be comfortable when they took the early lead is that not turned out to be that way at all.
Yeah, again, it just feels as if the game's very, very open and not like the games that since the new managers came in. He's made Rangers are a bit more robust and harder to beat, whereas this game just seems as if it's going end to end, and it's allowing Livingston the opportunities, and they're really playing with fire at the moment.
I should say I've painted the picture slightly wrong for you when I said you can just imagine Gassama. He's actually on the other side. He checks back onto his left and then he slides it wide of the post. But then Livy going up the other end, and really good Jack Butland to thank to Rangers for keeping the scores level. It's going to be a double change up front for Livy as well, so Bokila and Muirhead coming on for Yengi and May. Now Bokila is 37, I think. He's shown he's you give him a chance and he will take it.
And Robbie Muirhead, again, we all know he's scored his worldie of a goal, and again I just fear that they'll get one opportunity because Rangers are playing on the edge here.
I think they'll get more than one. I think Rangers are at the back. That's where the big problems are for me. I wouldn't be surprised that on Thursday night he goes back to a back three. I know that he's not got a lot of options there.
That means you need to play
Tavernier
or Clinton Nsiala has just come on.
Right.
And who's went off?
Remember him?
Yeah, who's went off for him?
My goodness.
Have they went to back three in this game yet?
Hold on, actually he's about to come on, and now there's a serious looking head knock, so you'll need to wait for the answer to that question. Double change for Falkirk, they look home and hosed anyway. Cartwright and Aguiman on for Tate and Brian Graham. Well done to Brian, he's a friend of the show, scored the goal, and happy birthday tomorrow, 38. And scoring goals in the top flight. That's not bad, is it?
That's good.
Half my age.
That's really good.
What about the guy that phoned in on Wednesday night? Final caller, 96.
Yeah, I heard him.
He was, and he was brilliant. Sounded
96.
great. Made Hugh Keevins sound like a schoolboy. There you go.
Yeah, you'll be standing here at 96.
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Man.
Yeah, you'll be there. You'll
macaron at half.
No, he won't be. I don't think. I think you'll be.
Oh, I think he's like on, or do you?
I'll be well away.
You'll have enjoyed
it.
Did you enjoy your? Was it good to be back amongst the macaroni pies? You obviously weren't on last week.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. What about? Are you happy with the cake I brought you in?
Beautiful.
You too.
Beautiful.
Little Soho to go on Dumbarton Road. Always stop in on my way. They sent a nice wee cinnamon sponge in for me.
It's absolutely lovely, I've got to say.
I knew that would go down well.
I went to my cousin's birthday party last Saturday afternoon over on the south side, and everyone's talking about Super Scoreboard, and then in the evening watched Scotland play Greece, and I've just never stopped since Tuesday night. And here was Scott Allen, best programme I've ever been on. And yesterday the AGM, the whole week has been crazy.
Yeah, it really has. We talked about sort of the knock-on effect of Scotland and the inspiration. Remember I told you David Watson tried a Scott McTominay earlier on. He's genuinely just tried a Kenny McLean as well.
Is that right?
I love this idea that he's just had it in his head and he's just running around trying to recreate these spectacular goals. But he's had a go from halfway. Yeah, it's not the worst, but never really.
They need a Shankland
looking.
They just need
a goal on that would be easier.
Do you know, I'm mentally running through every Scotland manager I can remember, all the places I've been, etc., and I genuinely can't remember anything as big as Tuesday night. And I mean, we've been everywhere. You know, we've done the World Cups in Germany, Italy, France, but when they walked out in Paris with the full Highland regalia on, I thought, wow. But nothing comes close to everything that took place on Tuesday.
When have you been to here?
I've been lucky enough to be at 3 World Cup finals on 3 different continents: America, France and Japan.
So we weren't at Japan, but you still went.
Yeah. Yep.
That was back in the days when newspapers had more money than they knew what to do with. They sent Scottish reporters to the other side of the world for a tournament that we're not in.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Italia 90, Scotland participated there, and I thought, well, that would be quite something to see Scotland and America in 94, but they didn't make it, and I went, now Scotland will play in America, and the expats, the whole atmosphere will be out of this world.
Can you see yourself going?
He's still just paying for the grandkids.
No, but if he's going to pay, he may as well jump in.
Yeah, he's got to go.
It's a worry.
A worry?
6 grandkids.
Oh, that is a worry.
I've been trying to do that, looking through the kind of phone book and seeing what pals I've not spoken to in America for a few years. seeing where we can go. Producer Ryan says that he's got cousins in Dallas that have looked out the outhouse. Say they'll put us up.
Oh, lovely.
Manage that.
Is that me secretly?
It's going to be a blow if we're playing in Toronto, right enough.
My favourite city in the world is Toronto.
There'll be a lot of Super Scoreboard fans out there. Will there not? That'll help us out.
I have little doubt. We had a guy from LA the other day who said he would, but he wouldn't let Gordon Dalziel sleep in his couch. He said there was no way.
I'm upstairs.
Hold on, I've got a bone to pick with you. Did you just say that your favourite city is Toronto?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
Beautiful.
Did you not go and...
That was my first girlfriend.
Was it not on... You went to that trip to Toronto and refused to go to Niagara Falls because you didn't. You said it's just a bit of water falling off a cliff.
Yeah, I stayed by the pool. I couldn't be bothered with that. I don't like sightseeing.
What was by the pool that made you stay?
Just a bit of
I don't
sunshine.
like sightseeing. Imagine going all that way and not going to see.
It's just something's
Niagara
never floated
Falls.
my boat. I'm not really interested in going and seeing water
Stop it.
down a cliff. What's the point of that?
Man.
Too busy watching something else.
Rangers have the ball in the net. The flag goes up, but of course you can check them the other way, so it might well stand. Tavernier's ball over the top. Miovski poked it through. Diamonde scored. Be a big break, if that's the right word. I mean, if it's onside, it's onside. I don't mean there's luck involved, but maybe a moment that Rangers need, because they've not been good today, Cammy.
No, and it seems as if they've been a little bit flat. I know that Gassama had that opportunity he put wide when he was through, but again it's been end to end, so they kind of just need a little bit of luck to go their way, a bit of quality to finish this game off, because listen, the most important thing is when you're not playing well is to still win games of football.
Andrew McLean says it'll be the weirdest goal ever if it counts, because nobody celebrated one of those where they all assume it's offside. But you just can't assume. We've seen it time and time again. We know that's why the lines are there, why it's Hawkeye, why it's calibrated before the game, all that stuff, because the naked eye can be difficult depending what angle you're at and all the rest of it. So we'll wait and see. Quick reminder of the teaser, Hugh, whilst we wait on that check, actually.
In my career, I played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn.
Let me stop you.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
The goal stands. That is a huge moment at Ibrox. Everyone thought it was offside, but it stands, and Rangers have not been at their best. Take a 2-1 lead against Livy with about 10 minutes to go.
They'll get away with one then.
Sorry, let's stay with that for a second, because I know we'll get back to the teaser, but that's massive, Cammy. If it's onside, it's onside. And I know our tone here suggests they've got away with one. If it's onside, it's onside. However, they needed that.
They absolutely need that. I just mentioned that when you're not at your best, it's so important. If you're trying to get up the table and challenge for league titles, you need to win games. And again, they've not been at their best today. There's been a lot of flaws. Defensively look very, very vulnerable. There's still a bit of time to go in this game as well, but they've managed to get their noses in front with 15-20 minutes to go. So it was so important they got that goal.
Yeah, it'd have been a massive disappointment if they didn't get 3 points today at Ibrox. And they look like they've struggled, what we've heard from Andrew at Ibrox, but it's all about getting the goals and getting the 3 points. But don't write Livy off, because the way Rangers are about their business, they might give up a chance or two.
But they'll already be kicking themselves, Cammy, because they go through, they're 1-on-1 and Jack Butland sticks out a leg and makes the save. They also might feel they should have had a penalty earlier in the game as well, so you can't really afford to pass. I know Rangers aren't brilliant and they're not at their fluent best, but still, with all that, you still can't go there and pass up loads of chances.
No, again, when you get them opportunities, the ball needs to hit the back of the net. If you've got a 1-on-1 at Ibrox, the ball needs to hit the back of the net for the opposition. We can look back at the penalty incident. For me, as I said, it looks kind of like a penalty. For me, I think David Martindale will certainly have a lot to say about that after the game, because it was a big moment, but the missed chances as well, you need to take them when you're at Ibrox.
Just a quick clarification, because Nsiala never came on in the end.
Did he not?
The Rangers not do this before as well. That not happened in the last game. Anyway, forget that. Sub ready to come on. Was it Lyle Cameron or something was going to come on the last game and then didn't?
Did you sit him back down the dugout?
Yeah, I think we were going to see a rare appearance.
Put your jumping back on.
Yeah, that's right. It was Lyle Cameron. He was booed by the Dundee fans and then he had to just go and sit down anyway. But I suppose Nsiala's been one of the forgotten men a little bit. But if Suter and Cornelius are injured for a while, he's going to, obviously move up the pecking order.
Yeah, and again it might present an opportunity, because it's certainly they've not been good defensively today, and it depends whether he obviously reverts back to that 3, which I would imagine he would do after giving up so many opportunities, especially at Ibrox. That's probably a disappointing thing. They've not had control of this game.
I agree with you. I think they will look probably next Thursday to go at the 3, because one, they lost the goal just with a long ball over the top. They've gave up a few chances, 1v1 the goalkeeper for Livingston. You've got to take those chances, so he might just change the formation.
How do you approach Thursday? You know, in Europe it's been pretty much a write-off for Rangers. Domestic football is more important to them now. Yeah, but there's still money to be played for, Hugh. There's still the fact that you're at home and you want to win the game. I'll be interested to see how he does, but I think formation wise, I think he'll go back to his back 3.
It's a great point, isn't it? Because we always talk about the kind of footballing argument, which should be the main thing. Of course it should, and Hugh's right. Can Rangers really get through from here?
No.
Maybe, but I mean, it looks like an incredibly long way back. So you think, you prioritise, you look elsewhere, you maybe use your squad appropriately, but if you've got a new American consortium who's taken over and you're trying to do things right, you can make a couple of £1 million every time you win a game.
Yeah.
So you wonder if that comes into it at all, or maybe not. I don't know.
They've just been so poor in the European matches. I mean, Danny Rule started off having to apologise to the fans. That was his first game in charge of Rangers, and then they lost to Roma at Ibrox, and
but you don't want that happening again as well. So it's important that, again, if they get through this game, they win another game in the league, but they build momentum. Yes, it's not been good today, but they've got through it. They've not played well, but they've won the game of football, and you've got to build momentum.
And I think you're going a bit early yet. They've not won it yet.
No, I'm saying if they do, though, they do, then you've got to build momentum. You don't want Danny Rowe having to come out with excuses and apologising to people again because they've been poor in Europe. So you've got to try and go and win these games.
To be fair, I don't think it's quite as much per game as I've made out there, but Gordon's factually correct, because he just said there's still money to be made. So we'll move on to Europe in the midweek, but still plenty to get through here. Rangers not been great. It's been a frustrating afternoon. They had the ball in the net, the flag went up for offside. Everybody assumed it was offside, but it wasn't, and it's been given, and Rangers take a 2-1 lead into the closing stages. Motherwell are 3-1 up at Kilmarnock. They've since gone to a back 5. They look a bit happier than normal to try and manage and make sure they do get the win this time, because that's something that's been tricky for them, holding on to leads. No such problem for Falkirk. What an unbelievable day they're having, 3-0 up away at Dundee United, and a really comfortable afternoon for Hibs as well, 2-0 up at home. Remind us of your teaser again, Hugh.
I played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn, Barry Robson. I won the EFL Championship and the Scottish League Cup, and I was managed by Jim Weir and Daniel Farke.
Jim Weir and Daniel Farke, what a combination that is. Scott wants to go for Michael McGovern.
No.
Sean Ross thinks it's Kevin McNaughton.
It is not on.
Sack the board goes for Angus Gunn.
No.
Okay, keep going. We'll give you another couple of minutes and then we'll round that off. Max Aarons has come on for Jayden Magoma. Not much really to assess with that one. It's clearly just a late like for like change to mix things up a bit. Give a few minutes there to Max Aarons, who you never know, if Gordon gets his wish and Rangers go to a back 3, might see Max Aarons during the week.
Yeah,
you're not a fan though, are you?
Not of Max Aarons?
Yeah.
Not so far. He's a lot to do to sort of win me over, but plenty of time for a lad. If I was going to back 3, I think I'd be playing Tavernier in there with the experience.
Yep, I would agree. It'll be interesting. I think he will revert back to that back 3, and it'll be interesting to see who the personnel is that plays in it. But I agree, I would have Tavernier in there just for his experience.
Lucky hangover for Andy Robertson. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 3.
Wow, better off out of it.
What a result that is.
Better off out of it. Seeing the subject of the heroes from midweek, or the heroes generally for Scotland, not that he scored or anything this time, but what a contribution over the last few years. Have you seen the documentary Villa have made in-house about John McGinn.
No.
You're not much of a YouTube man, are you? But if you can get one of the grandkids to fire up YouTube, stick on the John McGinn, you'll love it. It is absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
It's incredible. It's some brilliant stories in there, and it's great to see. And you see Jack Grealish talking about when he first seen him and explaining what he first seen walk into the
scruffy jeans and K-Swiss trainers on.
So there's some really good stories.
Jack Grealish gets paired in a room with John McGinn when he first arrives, and sneaks away and pulls some strings to get moved because he doesn't want to room with this weirdo Scotsman that's just arrived.
Right.
Leaves him on his own, and then they become best of pals. And I'd forgotten, you remember that incredible volley he scored for Villa against Sheffield Wednesday? I mean, that was his first goal for Villa, and in his first season he got player of the year for Villa.
How long's he been there now?
Then he scores the goal, and he scores the second goal in the playoff final to get them promoted. The full thing has been an absolute fairy tale. He also speaks about I remember this at the time, but I'm sure he says on it that St Mirren withdrew their contract offer. So John McGinn had nothing, and was going to go to Houston, and it fell through. Was going to go to Dundee United, and I'm sure he said something like they stopped answering their phone. And he pitches up at Hibs. The rest, as they say.
I think it was 2018 he moved from Hibs to Villa.
Well, no need to watch it now, Hugh.
No, it's a brilliant watch, isn't it? It's really, really good.
Yeah, I would thoroughly recommend it if you're. But you'll be on the 1% club tonight, though.
I'm very much. Yeah,
that's your Saturday night choice, isn't it?
Honestly, I'm fantastic in that. I never take the money. I go for a 1% question. I never take my 1,000 and
Why
leave.
on earth would you take it home when it's not yours?
Yeah, I don't take my 1,000 and leave.
Right, we're in the closing stages, so we're officially in late drama territory. I don't really know where we would get it. A Livy equaliser, that's about all that's there for you, I think, because everything else, Motherwell have a 2-goal cushion, so the Hibs, Falkirk have a 3-goal cushion, and generally you would expect Rangers to see out from here as well.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing if they didn't. And they'll think themselves a little bit lucky this afternoon. They've got the job done, probably. 3 points, that's the most important thing. But Livy will be a bit disappointed.
It's what it does for Paisley tonight as well, because Celtic are now only 2 points above Rangers, and I know that St Mirren haven't done well this season. They're bottom 6, 10 points, but these are turbulent times for Celtic, and the injury situation keeps getting worse and worse. Now it's Carter Vickers out for the whole season.
Because you said it earlier, before you even get to wanting to criticise Celtic or say that they're in a difficult spot, St Mirren away is a much tougher fixture than Livy at home. It just is. That's fine. You're not being naughty by suggesting that. And then Rangers' next home fixture, remind me,
Falkirk.
Well, to be fair, look, Falkirk are going well, but again, Falkirk at home or Hibs away, what would you choose? I think again you would choose Falkirk at home. So
without doubt,
before you even worry about AGMs, injuries, lack of form, managerial vacancies, Celtic's next 2 fixtures are much harder than Rangers.
I think, we'll see what happens at Paisley tonight. It'll be a torrid game, of that I am certain. But then somebody's got to say, how long does it take you to get a new manager? If you have been, the last word from Columbus Crew was that they had not been officially approached by Celtic. So what is going on with Wilfried Nosey?
But then again, everybody, well, not everybody, but loads of people say they're a bit more comfortable with a wait here if it means doing it right, because Martin O'Neill's there.
Yeah,
Sean Maloney's there. You're not.
But it's just.
Are you surprised, Hugh, that we've come out of the international break in Celtic?
Yeah,
I'm not. I'd said it before Scotland played that I thought that Martin O'Neill would be in the dugout.
Unlike Rangers, when we went through Gerrard, Muscat, and then got to Danny Rule by accident almost. Unlike that situation, there has only ever been one out-and-out contender here, and that appears to be Wilfried Nosey.
But Rangers needed it more, because when Russell Martin left, that was it. There was nobody. Stevie Smith took a game. Whereas, Martin O'Neill's been put in for a reason. Along with Sean Maloney. And
Martin O'Neill has held the fort commendably well. However, if it's Wilfried Nosey, and it has been this length of time, why has it not been done? What is the impediment?
Maybe one for the open line we can preview We don't usually get to preview many fixtures on the open line after 5 o'clock, but this one's an 8 o'clock kick-off on a Saturday night. Really something a bit different. 8 minutes added at Ibrox, so Olivia can surely just give it a go and see what they can come up with. Only 3 at Easter Road, so that one will be done. 5 at Tannadice, that's done anyway. And so Rangers the only one with the potential for something late. Cameron and Barron on, Gassama and Diomande off.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, if it finishes 2-1, you can say what you like, scruffy win, etc, etc, but it sets the tone for the remainder of the evening, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, I think it's so important Rangers just get the win, get the points on the board and move on. And again, they'll analyse it, look where they've went wrong. They've had 2 centre halves that haven't had that partnership together. They've not had a lot of game time together, so it's very, very new. They've learnt a lot from today, but they just need to get over the line.
Well, they are nearly over the line, so let's round off the teaser, Hugh, before we get those full-time whistles.
Okay.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I played alongside Michael Higdon, John McGinn and Barry Robson. I won the EFL Championship and the Scottish League Cup, and I was managed by Jim Weir and Daniel Farker. That means that I am Kenny McLean.
I once scored from the halfway line to send my country to the World Cup, yes. Jim Weir?
Arbroath
on loan.
Great shout.
Well done, Kenny McLean. If you got it, let's see who made the podium. It was Jim Ban, 96 in third, Enrique 69 in second, and S. Rennie 1877 was the winner. Well done to you, Kenny McLean. It was. We've got our first full-time whistle. It comes in Ayrshire. Fraser Wishart has just watched Kilmarnock against Motherwell.
Yeah, it finished Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3. Motherwell picked up thoroughly deserved 3 points. They were comfortably ahead at the break through a Maswanisi double. Killie did rally at the beginning of the second half. A Tiffany goal gave them some hope. They began to play a bit better, but Stamatolopoulos came off the bench to score a penalty to seal it for Motherwell. They were excellent in the first half, 2 up through 2 really good finishes, as said, by Tawanda Maswanisi. First in 17 minutes, Longello with a back post cross. Dominic Thompson should have cleared it. He just got a touch on it rather than a full header, and the ball fell to Maswanisi. Good control because he wasn't expecting the ball, and get a quick toe poke finish low into the corner of the net. 2-0 in 31 minutes. The winger was first to react. Kelly failed to clear a Longello throw in, and he was first to react to the ball, and he fired high to the net from 8 yards. Kilkenny did a good reaction, start the second half, and they got it, and they scored in the 49th minute on the break. Kilty fed Anderson, who had a quick turn, and he put Tiffany through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. From about 40 yards, he had to run through. He coolly drew the keeper and slipped the ball low into the net. VAR checked it for offside and gave the goal. And 3 minutes later, it was almost 2-2. Paul McGinn got back onto the line to clear a Thompson shot off the line. It was going in, and the keeper was beaten. It's a different game now. Kelly players snapping at the heels of the Motherwell in midfield, getting balls into their box, and it was Jens Bertel Askew who was the one who made the changes, and they made a difference immediately. One of them, Stamatolopoulos, ran onto a long ball in the box near the byline. Robbie Dees didn't need to challenge, he made the challenge near the touchline. The referee said play on, but VAR checked, sent the ref to the screen, and he gave the penalty. Stamatolopoulos coolly sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Bit of life still in Kelly Lewis Mayo, hit the bar from 16 yards. Ward didn't even move. It was a fierce shot, but he really didn't get the impression that the players or the fans believed that Kilmarnock could get back into this game, and Motherwell saw the game out comfortably. In fact, they could have been further ahead when Stamatolopoulos brought out another really good save, diving to his right by young goalkeeper Olo Wayemi Lotu's right hand side. 6 defeats in a row for Kelly. They desperately need a win from somewhere to halt this poor run, but it was Motherwell's day. Really good win in the road, by getting to turn the good performance into wins, and the fans to my left are absolutely delighted. Full time at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3.
Full-time Tannadice, Falkirk, a sensational 3-0 win away at Dundee United. Well done to them. Let's go to Easter Road, because it's finished between Hibs and Dundee, watched by David Friel.
Yeah, full-time Gordon, Hibs 2, Dundee 0. A really comfortable home win for Hibs. Kieran Bowie and Jimmy McGrath with the goals to secure the 3 points. Hibs were excellent, Dundee were poor for the most part. I think the only surprise is that David Gray's side didn't score more goals. Bowie finally got his after 9 games and over 2 months without scoring. He also claimed an assist for that McGrath clincher in the second half. As I said, Hibs are really good and they're full of confidence in third place, but Dundee have now lost 5 of their last 6 and remain in big trouble down near the bottom. Bowie fluffed 2 golden chances from close range before he finally got the opener on the half-hour mark. Nicky Cadden's cross, Bowie took a superb touch, buried his shot under John McCracken. McGrath, Martin Boyle, Josh Mulligan all had efforts as Hibs laid siege to the goal, but it took until 59 minutes for the second one to arrive. McGrath had just hit the bar from 22 yards when the ball was played into his path by Bowie after really good work from the outstanding Mulligan. Irish midfielder's low shot gave John McCracken no chance as he made sure of the points. It took Dundee 66 minutes to even register an attempt on goal. Tony Ugan was a man who was denied by Raphael Salinger. Clark Robinson then also forced a brilliant stop from the Hibs keeper late on, but the points were in the bag by then. Good performance from Hibs. A lot of questions for Dundee. Full time Hibs 2, Dundee 0.
Yeah, solid win there for David Gray's side, keeping them in a really strong position in that league table. We're about to be done, I suspect, at Ibrox. The last chance did go the way of Livingston. Robbie Muirhead fired over. They will really be kicking themselves. They had such a good chance, a clear chance at 1-1. They've had a penalty shout earlier on in the game. Rangers thought that their goal was offside. Nobody even celebrated, but it was on, and that separates the teams as we head into the final minute of the 8th added on. There was a real nasty head knock between Fernandes and Silla. There was a long check on the offside for Rangers goal, and so on. So no surprise that we've played quite a lengthy spell of additional time. And it's pretty much, as soon as we're done that, it is over to you. 01419511025. What have you made of today's action? What are you thinking about tonight, Celtic fans? The AGM, are you happy at the way that played out or not? Can you see the team going to St Mirren and winning, or might they struggle and that means Rangers would be closing in? This was the week, of course, the week above all, so if you still want to talk Scotland, you can do that as well, and loads to get through. I'm absolutely sure of it. Give us a call right now. We'll start getting them lined up. 01419511025, and we will be live streaming the show for the last hour, so you can jump on YouTube, Facebook, whatever tickles your fancy. If you want to see how Hugh Keevins, Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell look after standing in the other studio for 3 hours, dishevelled is the answer. Full-time Ibrox, Andrew McLean.
Rangers 2, Livingston 1, the full-time score. Danny Rule said yesterday they'll need to have some scrappy wins at times, and this certainly comes under that category. Not a great performance at all, really, from the home side, but it is another 3 points on the board. They got their goal their first goal, I should say, just 8 minutes in through Emmanuel Fernandes, James Tavernier's corner, and it was Emmanuel Fernandes who rose highest to power a header past Jerome Prier, but Rangers never really got going after that and didn't look great defensively either, especially when a long ball over the top caught out Nasser Jiga and Emmanuel Fernandes. Tete Yengi, a brilliant touchdown from him, and he poked the ball past Jack Butland for the equaliser. Then big claims for a Livingston penalty before the break. Tete Yengi's shot came off the arm of Emmanuel Fernandes. David Martindale was certainly claiming for it in the dugout, but nothing given by referee Ross Hardy, and no interference from John Beaton in the VAR room either. Bojan Miolski came on at the break for Rangers because Danny Role knew they needed to change something immediately. He directed a header just over the Livy bar, but it was a game that could have gone either way in that second half. Jade Gassama passed up a huge chance at one end following a Rangers counter-attack, and moments later Jack Butland had to make a massive save from Tete Yengi after James Tavernier was robbed of the ball about 25 yards from his own goal. The winner eventually came though 10 minutes from time, and it was a really strange one as well. James Tavernier with a ball over the top, Bojan Miolski got onto it, prodded the ball over to Mohamed Diamandi, who tapped into an empty net. The flag immediately went up. There was basically no celebrations whatsoever. Everyone just kind of assumed that either Miolski or Diamandi and all that had been offside, but a VAR check showed that the goal was actually good, and it was given. Rangers managed to hold out in the end. Robbie Muirhead firing just over the bar right at the death. Not a performance that was great by Rangers by any measure, but it is 4 wins on the spin for them and for Danny Rule, and they're now just 2 points behind Celtic, who play St Mirren later on tonight. The full-time score at Ibrox is Rangers 2, Livingston 1.
What did you make of all that then, Rangers fans? If you're heading out the stadium, are you just happy with the 3 points? Is that what it's all about? Or would you have preferred a more comfortable afternoon? Livy fans, you might be kicking yourselves at missed chances or complaining, as I'm sure David Martindale will be, about the handball that you didn't get in the first half. So any thoughts from Ibrox, please give us a call. What about Paisley tonight, you Celtic fans? You go there in a strange place. Some good domestic results before the break. Kieran Tierney contributing in a massive way during the week, but then Friday the AGM brought to a halt. Real disconnect at the club. How are you feeling about that and the game itself this evening. I'm looking at you Motherwell fans, perhaps Partick Thistle fans. A huge win at the top of the Championship. Give us your happy thoughts, and if you're disgruntled tonight, maybe that means you're a fan of Kilmarnock as an example. Another defeat for Stuart Kettlewell. Give us a call, whatever's on your mind. We'll even talk Scotland again, because we're not sick of it if you want to. 0141 951 1025. You'll live stream the show as well if you want to watch it, and we'll take your calls next.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, "Want to bet?" I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
In her framing shop, Sally's got an eye for precision, plus a computer full of customer orders and precious memories. There are locks on the doors and sensors on the windows. But what's securing it all is BT Cybersecurity. With business antivirus, cloud protection, and security awareness training, it helps stop threats before they strike, keeping sensitive business data safe. Because protecting your business takes more than just toughened glass and a steady hand. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity.
You're living with cancer. You're waiting for results. It's 3 a.m. And while everyone's asleep, you're wide awake. What do? Join the Macmillan Online Community. It's a safe, anonymous online forum full of help, support, and friendship from people who know just what it's like to have cancer. To find them, search Macmillan Online Community.
At Lidl, we won't be beaten on price on a range of Christmas mains. Like our Birchwood fresh British medium whole turkey, smoked gammon joint and more. All at an unbeatable price. Lidl, more to value. Selected products on sale from 27th of the 11th and 19th of the 12th and price match in most major UK supermarkets until 24th of the 12th. See lidl.co.uk/LBTV while stocks last. Exclusions apply.
You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
A Rayo original podcast.
Hiya, it's Gemma Atkinson. And you know what they say? You should never work with animals, kids, or your Spanish partner of almost 8 years.
8 happy years.
Oh, yeah. Join me and Gorka on our brand new podcast, Lost in Translation, where we lift the lid on family life and our perfectly imperfect relationship.
Listen to Lost in Translation now.
On the Rayo app, Apple, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
Gordon Dalziel, Cammy Bell and Hugh Keevins are here, but they want to hear from you. That's what this stage on a Saturday is all about. You've watched most of the football. You'll have good thoughts, bad thoughts, or somewhere in the middle. So get them into us, 0141 951 1025. As always, we're here for the bigger picture stuff as well. Any of the big news stories doing the rounds. I'm thinking Scotland during the week, or indeed that Celtic AGM. Were you there? What did you make of it? Was that the right way to go about things or the wrong way? Ross Desmond's statement, loads to get through there. Celtic still looking for a manager incidentally as well, but loads to get through today. If you'd rather just focus on the 3 o'clock games, then let's hear from you Motherwell fans, starting to tick along nicely. On the flip side, losing at home today against the Steelmen. Kilmarnock fans, sounds like it's a bit of a worrying time. Very keen to get your thoughts, Rangers fans, because it's 3 points on the board. Pressure then goes on Celtic tonight ahead of the trip to Paisley, but was it a good performance? Are you bothered about that? The home game against Livy, it was clearly a bit stuffy. Some of you will care and some of you won't, so it's nice to hear from both about how you thought today's game went. I've got a funny feeling David Martindale will feel his side should have got a penalty in the first half. Livy missed some chances as well, but not to be on the day. Congratulations to Falkirk. That's a wonderful 3-0 win away at Tannadice. And Hibs with a straightforward 2-0 win at home to Dundee. And it's not just the top flight. The Championship has come alive again, because second place, Partick Thistle, have beaten the league leaders St Johnstone at Firhill.
You have to compliment Mark Wilson. We all have our fun, but he and Alec Ray have done a terrific job, and Alec Ray is always saying the praises of Mark Wilson and how hard he works at Firhill. So they're in there, they're hanging in there for automatic promotion to the Premiership, and that's a big result for them today. I'm sure it was watched by a big crowd as well.
Yeah, and the fact is, obviously he's not working with the biggest budget in the league as well. He's went in there. There was a lot of doubters at the beginning when he got the job, but what a fantastic job he's doing so far, and I'm sure every Partick Thistle fan is delighted with it.
He took a few of the wedding envelopes, trying to get himself a new striker.
Yeah,
in the January window.
Well, hope he doesn't take mine.
Because I did notice, because nowadays the modern way, there's like a website or a QR code, and you could choose. You could go give money for the honeymoon, give them a meal, or new set of socks for the Partick Thistle first team squad. But no, it's a great win, and Cammy, the top flight as well, littered with stories today, good and bad. Depends who you support.
Yeah, again, you've got to look at that Falkirk result away at Tannadice. A big result, that 3-0, a real statement as well, because again, Falkirk have been going along nicely in the league, but then you get these difficult games that you need to go and win if you want to be challenging up for a top 6 position, and that's where they are at the moment. I think they're sitting 5th in the league, and it's almost Dundee United are sitting 7th, so it's just give them that little bit of a gap between them. So yeah, I feel as if it was a huge result for them, and a big statement that they're here to stay in this top flight.
Yeah, they're certainly doing brilliantly. There's no doubt in that. I was a bit fearful for them at the beginning of the season when I seen their transfer window. They didn't bring in a lot of players. They kept the same squad throughout the leagues, from the first of the Championship all the way up. And John McGlynn's been rewarded because the players have absolutely been brilliant, and that's a great result today. Great result.
I mean, of your 49 clubs, you are most associated with Kilmarnock. Yep. Not great times. Do you think is there scope for disgruntled Killie fans on the phone?
Yeah, listen, there will be unhappy Kilmarnock fans. I think there was before the game. 5 losses in a row isn't good viewing, and then that makes it 6 today, so it's grim times for Kilmarnock at the moment. They need to turn it around. They've got a big home game against Dundee United, who took a tough result today against Falkirk. So yeah, listen, it's becoming that time of the season that they need to turn it around, because when you look beyond Dundee United, their next fixtures are Hearts, then they play Rangers at Hearts away, Rangers at home, and then Aberdeen away. They're the tough fixtures to face, so I think they need to get a result next week.
Yeah, I think Stuart's coming under a lot of pressure. It'll be interesting. We get 1 or 2 regulars from down that way that support Kilmarnock, and at the beginning of the season they were very positive about him. You know, they had their doubt when he was appointed, but they backed him and he got off to a good start. But things are going bad to worse now for him, and that's a poor result this afternoon. But listen, brilliant for Motherwell, playing some terrific football down there. Everybody highlights the pitch. Motherwell played the brilliant football. 3 goals, deserved their 3 points, and up the road.
You worried for Stuart Kettlewell's Killie?
Yes, you have to be. The Dundee United they will get next weekend will be the wounded animal variety. They've taken a sore one at home today. There'll be much unhappiness during the week, and Dundee United will go to Ayrshire knowing that they have to win as well. So you'll have 2 teams in must-win mode, and that will make for some game next weekend.
But it's not just games today and AGMs yesterday to look back on. We've got a rare Saturday night game in Paisley, Hugh.
Yeah, huge. I tend to take the view that the Rangers result has certainly cranked up the pressure. The fact that Celtic are away to Hibs next weekend, the Rangers are at home to Falkirk, further cranks up the pressure if Celtic don't do well tonight. And when clubs like Celtic are in the midst of internal warfare, which is what's going on at Celtic Park, then it finds its way onto the park, undoubtedly. And I'd be very interested to hear Martin O'Neill's team. Very interested to see how Celtic get on tonight, and then very, very interested to see where the new manager's gone.
John Paul is a Celtic fan from Greenock. He will kick us off tonight. Take it away, John Paul.
Guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay, mate. Look, I've just watched, well, I've not even watched, I've sat and watched just seen an incident. I've listened for weeks about the Celtic blah blah blah. I don't know if you've seen it.
Right, hold on, John Paul, your line is breaking up. It's funny because I can almost fill in the gaps. I think you must be on about because you're referencing Rangers in the morning after the League Cup game. Are you trying to talk about the penalty Livy didn't get?
Yes, I am.
I thought you might be.
For me, it's a 100% 18-carat Stonewall penalty.
Really?
Yeah.
As strong as
Why
that?
is it not given? Why is that not given?
Well, you'd have to ask the referee, first of all. He took the naked eye view and did not give it. And then, why was he not invited to look at a screen? So all I can say to you from my perspective, John Paul, 18-carat, 100% Stonewall penalty.
The only reasons really that it wouldn't be given is that I referenced it earlier, right? I know people have got better things to do on a Saturday night, right? About you've got Strictly, you've got all the options. If you do want to go watch the first VAR review of the season, if you're that way inclined, Rangers got a penalty against Alloa in the Cup, right?
Yep.
And it was a kind of the Alloa defender was sort of kind of running, so his hand, obviously as you run, the hand kind of comes out.
Yep.
Rangers did get the penalty that day, and Willie Collum said he could support it enough, but he would prefer them not to be given going forward. That if that type of motion, if the hand kind of comes out in that running way, then it might. So it's not the exact same as that, but it has likenesses. So I wonder if that's in the referee's head. The only other thing that it could be, when John Paul says how's it not given, would be like proximity. The person, the attacker who hits it being particularly close. I think loads of people will disagree and think it's a penalty, but to answer the question, those will be the reasons as to why it's not given.
Yeah, I understand the reasons. Again, proximity when you look at it is close, but I still think his hand's far enough away. The shot's going on goal. I think there's enough evidence that penalty kick is awarded to Livingston. It'll be interesting what David Martindale's take on it, as you're pretty sure he'll have seen it back. But again, is that
the big factor, the ball's going towards goal for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've got to take that into consideration, Daz, that again, if it's a shot that's off target, I'm not as convinced, but because that shot's going on target, you don't know what's going to happen. So I think that's got to be taken into consideration. But again, does it surprise me? No, because I've criticised VAR this season. I think there's been a lot of poor decisions this season, so it doesn't surprise me that it wasn't given up, because I think there's been so many poor decisions.
Yeah, I think if you're Livingston, you're probably looking at the situation, you're very, very disappointed. I agree with the lads. If it was me, it was refereeing, I think I would be looking towards a penalty, and for the reasons that Cammy was saying there, the ball's going towards goal, you never know what's happening. I don't like to see, what we call in the game soft penalties nowadays, but I just think the rules are there, and I think Livingston are hard done by.
I've seen also, because you're looking for potential reasons, I think it slightly touches Fernandez's knee before his hand.
Does it? Right,
but,
okay.
But again, having done lots of this VAR stuff with Willie Collum, he's always quite big on, just because it hits another part of the body doesn't mean it automatically rules that out, but it could be a consideration. But anyway, John Paul, look, you think it was a penalty, and who am I to tell you otherwise?
I can hear now.
Of course you can. That's what I said. On you go.
I can't believe you're defending it, honestly.
John Paul, I knew this would happen.
I don't believe you're defending it.
John Paul, can I just ask you something?
We all said it was a penalty.
Everybody said it was a penalty.
Which part of 18-carat 100% Stonewall penalty is a form of defence, John Paul?
Of the ball, and his hand is here, and
John Paul.
I said it was a penalty, John Paul.
We're all saying it's a penalty for the third time.
But you're trying to defend. Why was it not given?
John Paul, I have to ask you again, which part of 18-carat 100% Stonewall penalty is a defence?
You're talking to Cammy. Why is it not given?
Cammy said he thought it was a penalty.
I thought it was a penalty, John. I gave the reasons that potentially why the referee might have not given it. He's the only one that can answer your question on why it's not given. So same with the VAR, why they've not called them over to the screen to have a second look at it. Potentially I can see why the referees maybe not give it on the pitch, because the proximity. But then again, when VAR are allowed to intervene, I'm pretty sure they should have pulled him over so he had a second look at it. But listen, John Paul, I'm saying, for me, if that's against your team, then you're absolutely wanting a penalty for that.
John Paul, let's cut to the chase. You're suggesting that this is a conspiracy, that the penalty was deliberately not given because it was Rangers.
Duncan said yesterday, VAR has been in place for 3.5 years now, and they still can't get basic decisions correct.
I know, exactly. Like the one that the penalty that Celtic got at Kilmarnock earlier in the season. You know, never a penalty.
Terrible decision.
But you know, we've been all. But you're talking about VAR. VAR gave Celtic a penalty at Rugby Park that was never a penalty.
I think his point is you're still going to get decisions that go for against all teams. I think that's ultimately what you want.
But again, we are all well versed in the conspiracy theories. If Celtic don't get a penalty, then the world's against Celtic. If Rangers get a penalty, then the world's for Rangers.
This is and I said it before, John Paul, that I think VAR has been poor this season. I really do. I think the decisions that have been getting made, and did it surprise me that wasn't given? No, because I think decisions have been really poor this season. I said that a few weeks ago. Me and you had a discussion on
They were also
air.
trying to, and especially off the back of the Kilmarnock one, trying to kind of raise that bar for handballs, weren't they? Trying not to make it that every handball.
Yeah, but you can raise the bar, but also handballs, if it's, for me, I mentioned there, it's going towards goal. I feel as if it's far enough away from the body there that is a penalty kick.
I know you all say, and this again, so Paradise is tweeting saying Gordon Duncan trying to justify the Livy penalty, what a clown. John Paul asked, why is it not given? I then say why it's not given. At no point, at literally no point do I say that's the right decision. But if you're going to ask why it's not given, be prepared for the answer as to why it's not given.
I think also we just summarise this whole situation by saying when Celtic and Rangers don't get penalties, then the game's corrupt. And when penalties are not given against Celtic or Rangers, the game's corrupt. So the game's corrupt.
Brilliant. We're back. Forget that international.
Love it.
Flower of Scotland seems like a long time ago. What are you thinking tonight? John Paul, St Mirren's always a kind of tricky place to go. Is that fair?
It will be tough. I just hope the 90 minutes go ahead and there's no nonsense with tennis balls and ping pong balls and all that nonsense. Just let us play the 90 minutes and see how it goes.
Just going to put it back to John Paul. Do you think that changes? Do you think you'll get your wish, John Paul, or do you think yesterday's kind of ramped things up a bit?
I honestly don't know, mate. I don't know. I just hope we play the 90 minutes, win the game, and any nonsense. If you're going to do what you're going to do it before it or after it. Just let the game play out. There's no point in throwing any, tennis balls and all that nonsense during it. It's not going to do anybody any good.
Ross Desmond was guilty of intemperate language yesterday, but fundamentally he had a point about people who are locked into this stuff when it comes to Celtic. They've been a wildly successful club. 13 of the last 14 titles, and Europe has been a shambles, admittedly. But there is an element of the support that is locked into all of this stuff. And Ross Desmond brought it up, but he brought it up in a naive, over-the-top way.
Thank you very much to John Paul. Plenty of time to talk today's football, tonight's football, tomorrow, last week, whatever. You decide. Anything that's on your mind, share it now, and we'll speak to you next.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fitz-all Media is an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
In her framing shop, Sally's got an eye for precision, plus a computer full of customer orders and precious memories. There are locks on the doors and sensors on the windows, but what's securing it all is BT Cybersecurity. With business antivirus, cloud protection, and security awareness training, it helps stop threats before they strike, keeping sensitive business data safe. Because protecting your business takes more than just toughened glass and a steady hand. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, "Want to bet?" I'll stop. Think about it. check my limits, check how much I've played, and maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Betfred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Save £788 on the Google Pixel 10 Pro on EE. Talk with Gemini about anything you see.
Anything?
Just point your camera and ask.
Can it tell me what to wear with my new trainers?
Like your very own stylist.
And recipe ideas?
Just show it your fridge. Plus, you get stay-connected data because powerful AI deserves the UK's best network. Offer ends 4th of December.
Savings across contract and device. Terms and credit check apply. Credit by EE Limited. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line 0141 951 1025.
Get your calls in, let us know what you're thinking, either about today's action, the action still to come tonight. You've got the AGM, you've got Scotland, so much doing the rounds. Let's bring in Mark, who's a Celtic fan. How are you feeling about tonight, Mark?
Hi, good evening, gents. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you, good.
A wee bit of nerves are probably about the night. Normally we'd be looking forward to the game, but the bin fire that is Celtic in the background at the moment is kind of blanking out everything else. Scotland had a great result during the week. Everybody's on a high. Come back to the AGM yesterday, which was an absolute nightmare for both sides. Now, I know that Hugh and everybody else has had a pop at the board and a pop at the fans. He's probably right in both senses here. I just feel a bit disappointed with the AGM, if I'm totally honest.
Can I explain why I feel the way I do, Mark? I feel that the AGM, at a major football institution like Celtic, why do people turn up with red cards and walk out in the middle of videos and walk back in again and create a mess? I have admitted that Ross Desmond's condemnation of the Celtic supporters was naive. First time he spoke on an AGM, he went over the top. His language wasn't the best. But as I said to the John Paul, the first caller, Celtic are locked into this nonsense.
Do you understand though the view of people, even because, again, I'll be completely honest, it's not something I could ever see myself doing, right? A red card at an AGM or walking out. So it's not that I'm 100% on board with that, but surely we've all got to be open-minded and understand the opinion of fans who think that maybe they've reached the stage of, if you just sit quietly at the AGM and you get told the same things and nothing really changes, maybe they felt that some sort of statement had to be made. Now, of course, there are lines, I totally respect that, but that's clearly where it's come from, isn't it?
But they don't have to sit quietly. There can be a robust exchange of views. You can get your point across in the most forceful way possible. But they turned up with the deliberate intention of showing red cards and booing and shouting sack the board. Forgive me for being an old conservative with a small C. It's the AGM, company law, a major football institution, and it was turned into a rabble.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I did see someone making that point of, imagine you had a share in a big massive, I don't know, bank or something. You wouldn't turn up at the age. But again, I think that's kind of missing the point, because that's where football's entirely unique. It's kind of why we love it. Yeah, it might be a business, but it's also not really. It's people's lives. So I'd be a bit cautious of kind of comparing it to AGMs of other industries.
I've got to admit, I agree wholeheartedly with Hugh. I think that both sides probably got it wrong, and I feel for the ones that generally turn up there that, they've travelled long distances, we've heard that, and they've turned up there to ask genuine questions about the club they love, and unfortunately have been denied that opportunity. I totally understand the section of Celtic fans who, that their club, they love the club, they like to see the club doing very well, they're frustrated with the board, and I can understand the board, and I totally agree with you. I think that both sides yesterday got it wrong.
I totally agree. I think what Celtic fans, and you mentioned there, people have travelled a long way and went up for the opportunity to probably ask difficult questions of the top table that they would have to answer and come up with some sort of answer. So they were denied of that opportunity. I totally understand the frustrations, and again the statement that got said, yes, that fueled the fire, and I think that was completely wrong. So I feel as if it was a missed opportunity for some Celtic fans to get their word out there, their questions to get answered at a big occasion, and it's went wrong for both parties.
In many ways, Mark, what you think is more important? What, as a Celtic fan, you said you were disappointed, I think was the word. What disappointed you?
First of all, I was disappointed with the shareholders and the fact that maybe they never got a chance to put their questions across, but for the mess that Celtic are in internally at the moment, I know they're financially strong and they've had, domestic success for years, and I get that, but for the club to be run so poorly this season, with the state of the stadium, state of the players, state of the qualities coming in and the quality going out, the money that's been taken in, I thought it was a real sucker punch for the fans not to get their point across. However, what I will say is, I'm a wee bit with you, Gordon. I think it's I don't blame the fans for having a slight pop at the board, but I've got a funny feeling the board were right to call a halt to it and then bring them back in. However, they knew that this was going to happen. They cut this short because they knew that they have made massive mistakes, and they have. I don't care. You really go from being dominant last season, fighting in Champions League, to the mess that we've been in this season. The manager leaving, which was a big part of it as well. He's got to take a lot of blame as well. But you don't get to that state, then come out to the AGM, the one AGM you get a year, and not be able to take a wee bit of criticism and then field questions. They didn't do that. Peter Lawwell did exactly what it says in the tin, exactly what he was going to do. He called a halt to this whole thing. The Dermot Desmond's boy thing, he's got a statement to make, that's fine. But what Peter Lawwell did, the way he spoke to the way he spoke directly to the shareholders there, telling them to be quiet, telling them like a school teacher. Now, he's paid by Celtic and paid handsomely, and he's taken a lot of money out of Celtic. Now, I get he's done a great job, but these guys have got shares. These guys have driven 3 or 4 hours. These guys are paying their money in to Celtic to watch them every week, week in, week out, and then they didn't get a chance to put valid points across. Now, I think that's poor from both sides. I think that they let them, the board let the club down, and a section of the fans let the club down as well. Now, where we are now is it's never going to change. They're never going to move. The fans weren't Dermot out. He's never going to leave. He's in a position of power. They're sitting with so many hundreds of million, or whatever, £80 million profit in the bank. They're not going to leave a successful business. So we're stuck in stalemate, and something has to be done. Olive branches need to be sent out here. But I just think for a football club as big as Celtic, just like you said, to conduct its business in such a callous way from some sets of the fans, and especially for boards with senior positions, I thought it's a really upsetting, in my opinion.
Yep, a nice balanced approach, I think, from Mark and Cumbernauld. Thank you very much for giving us your time tonight, Mark. Let's go to East Kilbride, where Ross is on the line. Hi, Ross.
Hi, Gordon. Panel.
Hello.
First time caller.
Right, what made you call? Come on. I'm always intrigued by what tips you over the edge.
It's just the performance today. It wasn't a great performance, but at the end of the day, it's 3 points. We need to move on. But it just shows that when we do get injuries, the team that he's got isn't in reserve, isn't good enough. So obviously they've got to make changes in January. There's a lot of players there that really shouldn't be there.
Is that defensively in particular, would that be fair?
Sorry?
Defensively or all over?
Defensively, well, I thought we were a bit all over the place today when they were sort of playing the long ball up days. They were getting caught out. But
that would be the worry, wouldn't it, Cammy? Because we said it earlier, Danny Rule identified it. How could you not? Everybody could see it was a problem earlier in the season. He said that was part of the reason they went to a back three. They've now come away from that. Again, there was valid reasons for coming away from it as well. But today, probably not a vintage defensive performance.
No, again, I mentioned it before. There wasn't enough control in the game for me, for Rangers. They have been building that over the previous weeks where they've been getting results and they've been controlling games better. Today it just felt like that it was going end to end. There
Livy high quality chances, didn't they?
Absolutely. There are too many good quality chances for my likings at Ibrox. And that again looks at the defensive partnership. The goal they lost is a direct ball over the top, one striker going through, two defenders defending, lack of communication, positional sense. You can mention it all went wrong, and it was a good finish from a Livingston player. But again, I totally agree with Ross that when you look at that squad, it's light in quality, and I think there's got to be big changes in January.
I agree.
Just made big changes though.
I know, but it's a different manager.
Yeah, and they brought in not enough quality, as Cammy quite rightly says, a couple of injuries. Now, I've said for the start of the season, the one thing Rangers will give you is chances, and they'll lose goals. And I didn't have a lot of confidence in the two centre-halves today. And to lose a goal with just one ball over the back, and then all of a sudden Butland has to save them when they're through 1-1 as well. It's a situation that needs addressed, and I totally agree. I know they've made a big investment, 13 plus players in the summer. They will need to get rid of some of the dead wood, because there are quite a few in there at this moment in time, and freshen up. And I would certainly start in the centre half position.
And here we come to the Rangers' internal warfare. Kevin Thelwell and his son Robbie, they will mastermind the January transfer window, and they have got to get it right, because the Rangers fans are looking at them. It's a lacklustre squad that they have. You know, if you're looking in terms of winning the league title, as things stand, they're only 2 points behind Celtic, but they're a lacklustre lot. Even Nico Raskin, and you touched on it yourself today, Gordon, that the fans were getting on his back for too many backward passes and so on and so forth. That squad needs a real look at.
See, at the same time, Ross, where Rangers have been a truly dreadful start to the season, managerial change, is it still early enough for the new head coach where you just you take 4 wins in the league in a row, you just take that and you move on, and you just hope you add the performance levels later?
At the end of the day, you've got to look at it as it's 3 points and you move on to the next game. Obviously, the start of the season with Russell Martin, that was just a complete nightmare. I mean, he should never have been anywhere near the Rangers manager's job. I think everybody knew that. I think the board knew that after they appointed him, but they just wanted to see how it would pan out. They should have sacked him for me after the Bruges game, and it maybe have been different. But you've got to get behind Danny Roll. 4 games in the bounce. We'll take it. We'll say 3 points and move on. But we need to get a bit tighter in all positions. And I say the front as well. Miovski, he was on fire with Aberdeen. Absolutely nowhere near the player he was there.
But they play a different style to him. But
he still just individually looks different, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's off it just now. Of course he is. But for me, what I liked was when Dan Rule came in. The first thing he said in his presser was, "Listen, it's not about style. It's not about anything. It's about winning games." Right now, they've not won pretty today. They've gave up a few chances. But the manager's true to his word. It's about winning games. All of a sudden they're up there in the league and giving themselves an opportunity. I don't think they're good enough to go and win the league with the squad they've got, i.e. why I think there'll have to be changes in the summer. In the January window.
Because today, again, Cammy, Big Marvin wouldn't be happy with us, but a home game against Livy, you're maybe hoping it is a day to get a striker who needs a goal, or see some sort of fluid attacking play. Come the end up, you don't really, it doesn't matter who gets the goals, right? Fernandez is a towering header. Diamande scores later on, but it's another game that's gone where is Danilo up front himself going to be the answer? Miovski couldn't come on and make an impact, and of course Chermiti's injured at the moment. Yeah,
I think what it does is it raises questions from these guys if they're not scoring these types of games. But again, you can put it down, I wouldn't say it's individually them. It was a poor performance today, but what the main thing was, they got 3 points on the board. When you're not playing well as Rangers, you still need to win the game, and that's the demands, and they've managed to do that today. I think Daz is right that Danny Rowe came in, he says it's all about winning. Russell Martin came in and said the exact same thing, but he couldn't stand up and do that. So I think there's a difference between the two managers. He'll accept today wasn't good enough, and he probably knows internally that he needs to add to the squad in January, but today was all about the 3 points.
Okay, thank you very much to Ross on the line in East Kilbride. That was a good first call, Ross. Hopefully we'll do it again sometime. What about William, who's on the other line? Hi, William. Can you hear us, William? Sounds like he's there.
Yeah.
I think he stuck his phone in his pocket.
William?
I'll deal with him later. William, are you with us? No, I don't know. I don't know where he's gone, for goodness sake. That could have been the blockbuster. Could have been the best call of all time. Could have been the best
Williams
point you've ever heard.
We might have missed out.
And we'll never know. I think producer's trying to speak to him just now to see if he is there. I like the notion that he's maybe just like put us on hold and thought
Did his bottle crash?
I don't know. Listen, we'll give him the chance. We'll get back in touch perhaps, and we'll take more calls next anyway.
After they play, you have your say. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
Into the final part, but plenty of time to get your calls in, whether it's AGM, whether it's Rangers at Ibrox today, Celtic and Paisley later, whatever it is. We're here for you. Richard is a Motherwell fan, and I honestly, I don't know what's going on here. Remember we tried to speak to William before the break. It just turns out it was just Richard, but we got his name wrong. So no wonder he didn't answer. I don't know what operation we're running here, Richard, but take it away.
Listen, I would first of all just like to say it's a great result away to Kilmarnock today on a really poor pitch. But I would just like to highlight how the breath of fresh air that we brought to Scottish football this season. The way we're playing, continually try to play it for the back. We need to learn to hold on to a lead, but as a Motherwell fan, it's been an absolute joy to watch us. And I'd just like to ask Dazzler and obviously yourself, Gordon, what you guys have thought watching us this season and what you think it could take us to.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone, Richard. Obviously, I live in Motherwell, and the amount of Motherwell fans that talk about the style they play from. The way that, especially at home as well, and they get away today to, as you say, not the greatest pitch in the world, but doesn't make any difference. They stick to their game plan, they stick to the way they play football. And you're right, it is a joy. It's an absolute joy to watch. It's been a long time coming, and what happens is people that are now going to the games, especially the home games, are come back with a smile on their face because they're enjoying what they're seeing.
Yeah, I've loved it. But I think I understood a little tiny bit of the criticism where you say, well, if it doesn't translate into results, you can't get too carried away. But they're in a decent enough run now. It's funny, the league table's so bunched, they're only 6th. I actually expected them to be higher up, but they've got a game in hand. They're 3 points behind Hibs are in 3rd, and they've got a game in hand. So the table's a little bit bunched. And
they've only lost 2 games though.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is so important. Again, I think with the style that they're playing, yes, it takes some time, and I've been there myself with Kilmarnock years ago trying to play out from the back. I think Motherwell are going to get better and better as the season goes on. They're starting to understand the role of everything, and it's brilliant to watch. When you watch Motherwell, you're excited. It's exciting football. So as a Motherwell fan, Richard will obviously be delighted watching it week in, week out, but they're not getting beat as well. So that's so important.
But it's one of these situations, Cammy, and I know that you don't want to hear us as a fan, but sometimes if you lose a game, which you can, you sometimes look and think, I really enjoyed that because of the way that we're trying to play.
Yep.
Instead of coming down the road and thinking that's the worst game of football I've ever seen in my life. Motherwell are entertaining the fans.
Yeah, it's kind of I think it depends what your expectations are. I'm not saying this means they'll finish 3rd, but I figure if you're going to finish somewhere mid-table anyway, you may as well do it
in style.
You've tried. It's not like if Motherwell then switch to playing a long ball, they're guaranteed to finish higher. So I think you kind of,
I think the profile of the club has risen so much because of the brand of football they're playing. I've never heard anyone speak about, no disrespect to Motherwell, but everyone's talking about Motherwell and Scottish football.
Unless you're absolutely flying. If you can find a different style that means you're 3rd or you're 4th and you're, like St Mirren play a very different way, but they're really good at it, and and they've got top 6 and all that stuff.
Yeah. Go back to 6-7 weeks ago or something. We were sitting in here, and it was a scenario of Livingston had won and Motherwell had lost. They were bottom, and people are saying, do they change their style because they're not winning games, they're drawing too many games, they could be bottom of the league. But the manager sticks to his principles.
Sorry, Hugh, on you go.
When Michael Wimmer left, very unfortunate. He's hardly in the door and he's back out it again. And you wonder, But Jens Bertolascu has come in, and I would argue that you've got lucky, because I'm not sure that Michael Wimmer could have given you the style of football that's got Richard excited and the rest of North Lanarkshire.
Richard, what about Mass when he said you feel like he's gone under the radar a bit? He's now the joint top scorer on the entire Scottish Premiership.
Oh, he's electric. He offers you something that is rare to see at Fir Park. But just going back to what Hugh said about Michael Wimmer, but see if you go back to the recruitment process that Motherwell went through to get Jens, I think it's very, actually, but then it's wrong to say that it was lucky, because if you actually listen to a couple of podcasts, and the reason that they hired the manager that they've hired, it was because of his style of play and his short managerial career. It was because of his attacking style of play. So the reason they hired Jens is far from lucky. It was because of a very, very astute process. And
no, I think what Hugh means though is he's probably even better than Michael Wimmer, which was the initial aim, wasn't it? Was obviously for him, but yeah, the process was similar, and obviously he tried to. In fact, someone that Lucas Fidinger was recruited for Michael Wimmer, and he left before he got there. But it was a good win today. Killie fans, on the other hand, would like to hear from you. Thank you to Richard in Motherwell. Please get your calls into us. What about Danny Rule? He's spoken after that victory for Rangers, 2-1 at home to Livy.
I wasn't here a couple of weeks ago, but maybe a couple of weeks ago we wouldn't win this game. At the moment we win these games. Of course we can ask about how, but at the moment when I arrived here I said it's important to win games. We do this at the moment. Still space for improvements. This is a good part. Even now, today, new two centre backs together. This is also something what we have to develop. They need game minutes. Nedum got today first appearance since I'm arrived. And these are the small steps we have to grow in together as a group. I know it was not the high quality game from our side, but 3 points, and this is most important.
Not high quality, but 3 points, and that's the most important. What did you make of it, Justin, on the line?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
I'm getting more and more frustrated watching Rangers, and I think a lot of Rangers fans today would have been, but the biggest thing that was frustrating me, you mentioned it earlier on, a defensive aspect. I think even if Souttar's playing today, I'm really struggling with why we're playing Deja continually. Now, I know we're kind of light and defensive today, but I would have been Salah and Fernandes playing today, because I think Deja is the biggest cause of Rangers' defensive problems most of this season. He causes indecision for a centre-half, the height and power and strength that guy should have, and the apparent Premier League experience. I've yet to see him win a header or even challenge for a header at points. It's just Calamity Jane stuff, and he causes massive indecision in the defence constantly. It was just to see what the panel think. I personally hope he's going back in January, and I'd like to see Salah given more of a chance. I know he's only 19, I know he's made mistakes, but I would rather see our players that we own getting better and getting experience, rather than giving players that really aren't up to the standard that we need on loan getting minutes and getting time.
I don't detect much of you, Justin, who's just happy to get the 3 points though.
Of course we're happy to get 3 points, but unfortunately games like that historically we haven't to get 3 points, and you'd be naive to think, alright, we've got 3 points, let's move on, because what happens the next time we're in that situation? We might not be as lucky. We might not get away with some of the rubs of the green that we got today. We've got to be better. We shouldn't be struggling to beat Rangers. Shouldn't be struggling to beat Livingston at home 2-1 and scraping it. That's not good enough for Rangers. And for me, as I say, the goal, if you watch the goal, the two of them go, and Deja is supposed to be on him. He lets the ball go right over his head and doesn't even chase or attempt to make a clearance. It causes massive indecision for me. And for me, as I say, I would like to see Salah getting more of a chance. I think he's quick. I think he plays the ball forward as opposed to constantly across the back. And I'd just like to see him getting a chance.
As I say, it's a lacklustre squad for me, and many things have to happen in January. Players in, players out. but I think Danny Rule was entitled to make the observation that a few weeks ago Rangers might not have won that match because they went to Livingston and they needed a 94th minute goal from Max Aarons to win the game 2-1. But yeah, the squad's lacklustre, and in defence it definitely needs tightening up, and that's why January is fascinating, primarily because the Rangers fans don't want Kevin Thelwell and his son to be dealing with it.
Giga, Justin says he hopes he goes back in January. I don't think there's anything to suggest that will happen. It was a season-long loan. I don't know the finer detail. I don't even know if it's an option. I don't know if it's one Rangers would take, especially now. So Suter and Cornelius injured. And Ciala, maybe you do start to see more of him. Is it a concerning area for Rangers, or are you listening to Danny Rule? He sounds more forgiving because he says it's the first time those two have played together and he focuses on winning the 3 points.
Yeah, listen, I think you do need to cut them a little bit of slack with regards to it is an early partnership for them. They've not played a lot of football, but again, it certainly is a concern because I think Justin's right there. They need to, yes, it's important that they got the 3 points today, but they can't allow that to happen. They've got to be in much more control of games against the likes of Livingston at Ibrox. They can't allow this little bit of, if you want to say, luck go their way and things just pay off them and they get over the line. That won't happen very often, so they need to get in more control. I think the centre-back area is a huge concern for me. It needs to be addressed in January.
I totally agree. Giga, for me, has been very, very poor indeed. And I know you're talking about, well, it's the first time they've played together, right? But he's played with Suter on a right few occasions and still looks a bad defender for me. So I totally understand where Justin's coming from.
Let's close with a quick look ahead, because it's very rare that we leave on a Saturday night and we don't even have team news for a game that's coming up, because it's an 8 o'clock shot in Paisley. Incredible on a Saturday night. St Mirren are on a bad league run, no wins in their last 4, but they're actually not playing badly, and Stephen Robinson's pointing to decisions that have gone against them and fine margins. So still think they'll be a stern test for Celtic,
without question. And Stephen Robinson will know that off-field problems for Celtic can impact on-field. Celtic, to cut them a little bit of slack, have horrendous injury problems, and it's a real awkward situation for Martin O'Neill. And I think Martin O'Neill was shocked by what took place yesterday as well, and he, I think, is thinking, I'm getting out of here quickly. But still no confirmation of a new Celtic manager. On and off the field tonight, a fraught time for Celtic.
It was no wins in 5 league games for St Mirren, but they did have the cup semi-final victory, and amongst that, the other thing, Gordon, is, as Hugh alluded to, the personnel issues haven't gone away. Nobody's back. Nobody's even close to back. And in fact, the news has got worse. Newspapers running with the story last night that Carter Vickers is out for the season. Now, that feels like the one that's not quite hit yet, because Trusty's done quite well and Scales would been there anyway. But at full-back, there are issues. There's no Alistair Johnson for the foreseeable, no Marcelo Sirachi. Kieran Tierney is a national hero for sure, but does that mean he then goes straight back into the Celtic team and plays every minute of every game, midweek, weekend? They probably didn't recruit a right winger, so none of that's changed despite some good domestic results recently.
No, personnel, obviously they've got their problems. They've not got the strength of squad that they would have liked, of course, and the quality that they liked. I totally agree with you. I think tonight will be a difficult game, but you're looking at St Mirren's form. It doesn't fill you with confidence. I think that because of the way Martin O'Neill is and how he can get players to go out there and perform, I think they will have enough tonight. I think it'll be a stuffy game, but I think they'll have enough.
Yeah, I think it will be. I'm in agreement with Daz that it'll be a stuffy game. You see that St Mirren don't score a lot of goals. They've certainly not this season. So I think Celtic will just get over the line, but they've got huge concerns going forward because their squad is light with a number of injuries and injuries to key players as well. I think that's what you've got to say is, but I think they'll have enough tonight.
You don't. You've got that glint in your eye, but does that glint extend to a St Mirren victory, or are you just thinking a draw?
I don't think Celtic will win the match. I'll go
We'll hedge your
that
bets.
far.
You'll go draw or St Mirren win. I don't
Yes.
mind that. I'll let you away with that. It's been a positive week, so let's do it. Thank you to Hugh Keevins, Cammy Bell and Gordon Dalziel. Thank you for all your calls and for keeping us company on a Saturday afternoon. There were big wins for Rangers, maybe not sparkling, but an important win, an impressive win, really impressive for Falkirk at Dundee United. Good win for Motherwell down at Kilmarnock and Hibs as well. And we're not forgetting the Championship, because Partick Thistle have beaten the league leaders St Johnstone, meaning 3 points behind with a game in hand. Still plenty to come throughout the weekend. You've got that St Mirren Celtic game tonight and all that goes around it. A big one between the league leaders and Aberdeen tomorrow. And of course the guys are here, Andrew McLean, looking after you on a Sunday afternoon. So loads happening, and enjoy the GBX, which is up next.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, "Want to bet?" I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
In her framing shop, Sally's got an eye for precision, plus a computer full of customer orders and precious memories. There are locks on the doors and sensors on the windows, but what's securing it all is BT Cybersecurity. With business antivirus, cloud protection, and security awareness training, it helps stop threats before they strike, keeping sensitive business data safe. Because protecting your business takes more than just toughened glass and a steady hand. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity.